Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Geek First Podcast, the 276th episode.
Ayo.
I don't know. Do I got a
What do you
nickname?
got cooking?
I am Baba D Flat. Trust now.
I don't know what that means.
No one.
Not even close.
Only some Star Wars fans would know.
I am the Adam Hart cast. Dylan Must.
I am the big pickle, Kirkland Patzer.
Big Pickle.
Oh, whoa.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a newscast. This was not planned because we have so many casts this week, but there's just so much news. There's trailers. There's Star Wars
Never ends
news.
in the geek world.
There's news that I got about Deadpool that these guys don't even know. A rumor going around about his involvement with Disney. So we got lots to talk about
spoiler,
today.
Jesus.
Spoilers for the cast.
Hang on. So, check out me and Taylor did a Latin review. Check that out. X-Men Retro Drop. Thanks for all the good feedback on that.
Positive feedback.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hanson
Appreciate
shouting
it.
out my continuity trying.
I like that. It was like, you made it when they make a meme for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. Me and Taylor reviewed Game of Thrones. We're reviewing Brightburn this weekend. Next week is Godzilla Taylor's Godzilla the Yin Yang. He has Netflix for Kirkland and then the movie.
His solo
And then the
reviews.
last two X-Men retros. And then Dylan, what are you dropping next week?
Review, or not really review, but a cast on Outward, which is that indie game I've been talking about for like 3 years at this point. But
Wow.
the game's finally out, and I finally have a cast ready for it, and it's going to go up on Tuesday.
3 years.
Since we're on the top of indie games, did you happen to grab
boy.
this something of Edith Finch or whatever it's
I have
called?
it downloaded.
I wanted to make sure because I know you're interested. And I just
Mhm.
wanted to.
I think
And
it's.
the month's running out.
I think
It
you can
is.
kind
This
of get
Wednesday.
through. I think you can kind of
This
finish it in
Wednesday?
like 2 or 3 hours. So I
Yeah.
want to know when I have that much time, and then just kind of play through the whole thing.
That's the best. When you have a game that only has I'd say less than 5 hours of
Mhm.
gameplay, you want to do it all.
It's the
at
same
once.
thing with Firewatch, and you just get really into
Yeah.
it, even though it's a short journey.
That's right.
Yeah, powerful journey.
Very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great and powerful.
let's jump in this. We're going to start with movie news, and then we have some gaming news. I'm not sure what else these guys have, but there's some new Marvel Ultimate Alliance characters, and
Oh
we
my
love
God.
talking about Marvel
Never
Ultimate
ends.
Alliance.
I'm
So
ready.
guess one or guess two. I'm going to let one of you pick. Either we got Toy Story 4, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Terminator Dark Fate. You guys can decide between yourself what we should talk about first.
I mean, I'll let Kirkland do it, but I have a pick personally.
I'm very intrigued in what your pick is.
Well,
so I'm
you
gonna
have
let
to
go.
say first, and then I'll confirm if you were right.
I'm gonna say Toy Story.
Wrong.
I knew
No.
I was wrong.
It's Once Upon a Time. Easy.
No, actually, it was Terminator.
That's a lie.
No, it was because I want to end on the
He
high
switched
note.
it up last second.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So what's the
Not
high
that
note?
Terminator's bad, but I guess we're talking about Terminator now. I don't know. I thought it was a decent enough trailer. I don't
Mhm.
really have any connection to the series. I've probably seen the first one at some point, and that's about it. And I don't even really remember it. So I'm just gonna hand it off to one of these guys because I'm pretty uneducated on this particular topic.
I'll go just because to show Dylan, if it gets good reviews, I think you should do the Halloween thing and watch
the first
1
one.
and 2 because
Oh,
those
and
ones.
2.
That's
That's a big commitment.
Some people say, I don't know if I'd agree, but I can see the case that people say Terminator 2 is the greatest sequel of all time.
Oh snap!
Wow.
So
I've
yeah.
never heard anyone
That's quite
say
a
that.
statement.
Oh no, it is.
I'll
it
just have
is
to take
sci-
your word for it because
it's
I've never
sci-
heard anyone say it
It's
before.
sci-fi legendary like that. Those two movies
I've never
back to
heard
back.
of
Go look at any.
I trust you, Travis.
Search the list on every top 10. It's gonna be in there. I
Okay,
trust
All right,
you.
All right.
So
I'm
yeah,
down.
I love Terminator T1 and T2. As you can see, I'm wearing a Terminator shirt. I love those two.
Isn't that a wrestling shirt?
It's a combo, which is the best thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I am looking forward to this because they're doing the Halloween thing where, hey, we're ignoring all these shitty sequels, and there's been a lot. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, not good. Terminator Salvation, I actually like, but still not the greatest. And Terminator Genesis, not great either. So I like that approach, and the same thing with Halloween. I liked that idea. The execution of kind of the story in Halloween was my con, but the idea of, hey, we're going to start over, I like that, and that worked out well. I think this is good. There's a lot of pros for here. Huge Mackenzie Davis fan. I would say she's she is are you looking? Look at
Confirmed.
that. The first one he pulled up, number 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer is still
Way
clearly
to go, Travis.
the answer is still clearly Dark Knight, but T2 is in the conversation. So Mackenzie Davis, I think she's top.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she is top 5 Hollywood actresses easily right now. Once I saw her in San Junipero, fell in love with her acting. Everything else, she's Blade Runner. Everything else I've seen her in, she's just phenomenal. So I knew she was in this movie, but I didn't know she was the lead of this movie. So that's exciting. Linda Hamilton coming back for the first time, a la Jamie Lee Curtis since T2. That's very exciting. And it's the director of Deadpool, which was great. And James Cameron is coming back doing the story. That's all exciting stuff. The trailer to me is very just kind of basic, and I don't know, the Terminator, and basic not in the way of Terminator 1 and 2 are very simple movies, but that doesn't make them good. It's just this robot is traveling back in time to kill this woman. And what's the second one? This robot's traveling back in time to kill this boy. And they switch it because the villain becomes a hero and blah, blah, blah. So,
Spoilers.
yeah, spoilers for T2. So for this,
The greatest sequel of all time.
this, it just looks like a lot of the other sequels where it's like there's airplanes going around, there's big action, and it's like, look what this Terminator can do. That's never the cool stuff. It's the sci-fi, it's the world building, it's the character moment. So hopefully there's been footage shown of this movie at CinemaCon and people raved about that. So I'm hoping that this trailer's just try to gain our parents or the masses that, another Terminator movie. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, but this trailer I didn't love. It was just fine. It was not the first trailer I wanted. I wanted this to be, like I said, I didn't end up loving the newest Halloween, but that first trailer when I saw it, I was like, boom, this feels like Halloween, everything. They didn't even have the fucking Terminator music in this trailer, which you guys are probably going to disagree. But it's one of the most, like, it's just a beat, just...
Oh, watch the mic there, Captain.
Spike the Mike Daniels.
Dun, 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 dun. So it just has this iconic beat that
That's recurring. That's a good recording.
it would just have my film fans and people that were my parents would know that beat right away, and they just pick some. We're hunting a cover slow version, which every trailer is that now. A slow version of a popular song.
That's very true. I've noticed that.
Yeah, and sometimes I like it, and sometimes I don't. So this trailer was very lackluster for me from a person that loves this franchise, but I'm still hoping the actual film will deliver. This is coming out in November. I think a good slot, not in the summer. So, yeah, so I'm hoping this delivers once we see it.
That November time slot, it's always like a wild, wild west. Like, you don't really know what's like supposed to be coming out that time because it's such a middle ground. Like, December's Star Wars and like I guess the Christmas movie. I guess Grinch came out in November though, so maybe that takes up.
Yep.
November's always got like the big video games. That's when they.
Yeah, that is true. That's like usually the COD time slot. I can't think of anything else.
The Bethesda games, Assassin's Creed, things like that. Big
Okay.
AAA games.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed's more an October game. Taylor Shark Boy just texted me.
Shark Boy. Yeah, for this trailer, it's been a good minute since my last Terminator experience, and I feel like I wasn't too engaged in that one.
You haven't seen the greatest sequel of all time. You've just seen the first one?
I feel like I
Ooh, it's
might
that
have,
fuzzy,
but yeah, it's very fuzzy.
It's annoying. I think T2 is on Netflix, but not T1. I gotta watch. It's one of those I gotta watch back to back.
I feel like my dad probably has it on VHS, so I
Is
There
it
you go.
such a
watch
good
it there.
sequel that you could watch it without the first?
Yes, but it would not be as good because the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, that twist they do with him, you need that first
Is
one.
T2 the one where it's like a female Terminator and she like turns into a naked chick?
This
okay, I've seen 3.
T2 is there's like very much like this. He's liquid and he can transform into other people. So where and in T1 it's just Arnold and he's just a robot, and it's more like a horror film to be honest because he's just hunting down. He's going around the city just killing people named Sarah Connor. It's very very scary.
What would you
Crazy.
call the genre of Terminator? Thriller?
Definitely sci-fi, but then the
thriller.
first one I'd say sci-fi horror, and then the second one's sci-fi action.
Okay.
The second one's way more motorcycle chases,
Nice.
big trucks, but that was kind of the point
Nice.
of it. The
I
first
like
one
that.
is very scary, and just because it's the budget too, they want to
Okay.
keep it lower. So,
Cool.
and Sarah Connor, probably my favorite female, one of my favorite female people. I'm definitely when it's Ripley versus her, Sarah Connor out of the way, love her.
Interesting. Yeah, back to the trailer though. I definitely wasn't blown away like because this. I don't want to be mistaken. This is the first trailer, right?
First one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I feel like for the first trailer, it showed quite a bit. It wasn't just like a teaser. But like I'm not saying that takes away from it, but maybe that's just because I'm not too invested in the Terminator series. So maybe it's just like, oh, it's pretty cool that they're still pumping these out. I like to see Arnie on the screen while we still got him here. So
Who
As if he's on his deathbed.
apparently he's gonna die any day. Kirkland is
anyone
inside
could die
info.
any day,
He
Travis.
did get
You don't know.
drop
This is
kicked
true.
last week. So
Oh, I saw
Where's
that
that?
video. That was
Really?
gruesome.
Dropkick.
It wasn't
he was at
gruesome.
like a fan sports event, and some not a fan, just an asshole ran up and drop kicked him while he wasn't looking behind. Like
Maybe
a
he
legit
was so
thing.
much of a fan that he actually thought he was a murderer sent from the future, and he's like, I got to defend
Sarah
any potential
Connor.
Sarah Connors.
name's Sarah Connors. It was quite the kick too. But
Yeah,
anyways,
I gotta see this.
I didn't notice the non-Terminator theme song like Travis,
No.
so I wasn't really taken out. It was kind of cool to see like the. I would say it was a new effect, but I guess like back to T2.
Well,
they're just transforming
Because
back to
every
humans.
Terminator, that's the new gimmick. They always do something new. So this one can obviously multiply. That's his thing, right?
Okay.
Because when he he did do that liquid
Yeah.
thing, but then there was 2 of them.
Right.
I don't know how logistically that works, but just as Tony
I
Stark
thought
says,
CGI was real nice. It was good.
It looked good.
just like Tony Stark says in every Avengers movie, nanotech, and now that's how they
Yeah,
just write off
true.
everything Tony does. He's a fucking wizard in these movies, you know.
Mhm.
He is. Solve space time, but
Yeah,
so who is the chick in the Aviators? Is that best
that's Sarah
actress of all
Connor.
time?
Yeah, I didn't say that, but yeah, Sarah Connor in the first movie. For minor spoilers for you guys, people that haven't seen Terminator's first one, she is just the full victim because there's a Terminator hunting her. And in the second one, there's a 10-year jump, so she just becomes this badass. She's been in an insane asylum, but she's just training the entire time. And legitimately, it's not like Jamie Lee Curtis where it's like, oh, she's training. Lena Hamilton got fucking jacked for this movie. She's like not like The Rock, but sure, for a woman back then, like she was in great
Shredded.
shape. So she became like wanting to. She was preparing for when this robot could come back.
That's
So,
badass.
Yeah, and
she seems pretty
sweet.
badass in this movie.
Well, now this has
That
been like
rocket
30
launcher?
years, so I guess she's preparing
Oh,
even
she's
more.
even more
so.
jacked than in the second one.
yeah,
She's never stopped training.
yeah.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I feel like I don't have enough information to like give like a solid like feedback for what I feel. But like just as like a regular moviegoer, I think this is a pretty good trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like the action sequences seem pretty cool. I'm assuming that younger chick who's a Terminator person. I don't know what you'd call them, a robo woman.
She's a robot.
Robot.
Or she's a Terminator.
So is this the first movie that she's in?
Yes.
Okay,
And
so
I
she's
don't
a new
know
character.
what's going on with her because usually the Terminators are just mindless beings that are sent back, but clearly she knows something is not right with her. So I don't know if she was a human in the
Yeah.
experiment or whatnot.
Classic
So
storyline.
there's something going
See,
on.
didn't that already happen though in like Salvation?
Kind of
Okay.
a little bit, but this sounds a little bit different. Where in Salvation, he didn't know. She knows something's wrong with her, right? So
Okay.
they've added a little like few questions who's this little girl and why she's so important. And then the other thing, the whole first movie and second movie is about saving John Connor. John Connor is nowhere in this trailer.
Yeah.
So I am wondering if he's actually dead, and that's going to be something fun, or it's going to be a small cameo because the actor
Yeah.
who played John Connor went on a big drug bender after T2, and
Sick.
Nice.
He
That's how you do it after a big drop. After dropping the greatest sequel of all time, you got to go on a
Yeah.
big drug bender.
so I think he's not
No other
in the
way.
greatest shape for acting wise these
Yeah.
days. He's clean now, but I think you just see a cameo. But my prediction is I think he might be dead because the whole 2 other movies have been we got to save John Connor. What happens in this movie if John Connor's dead? It's like that opens up
what
the
if it's
whole
like?
world.
What if they like go all the way and just say like he died to a drug overdose? Wouldn't that be dark?
I hope not. That's,
Wow,
that's
Kirkman.
real meta.
Scary stuff.
And Edward Furlong did not die. He's still
It's in a
alive.
movie, Dylan. Come on. There's been
Anyone
darker
can die
things
at
in
any
films.
moment.
Overall, I think it was an okay trailer. I can't say whether or not I'll see this in theaters.
It didn't
or not.
sell you yet.
No, I feel like I'll need another trailer to really sell me. Bring back that OG Terminator music that
Right.
Travis
Bring
blessed
it
us
back.
with.
Thank you, Travis.
Every time. It's such a good
I
beat.
love it.
Let's put it on the soundboard.
The reason that sound is also big in my life is because I love that movie. Kenny Omega, my favorite wrestler. He does this thing when he's about to dive out the ring. He slams his arms like that on the mat, and the entire crowd starts to clap that beat.
Mm.
And then I also do that to Gwen, and she runs away because she knows I'm gonna like chase her or something like that. So I
Wow.
do that, and she'll look, and then she'll just like.
So if you
sit
had it
there.
on a soundboard, she would just start wigging
Oh,
out.
she would. Next time you guys see her, I'll do this, and she'll look, and she knows like, oh, Dad's gonna come. get me.
Terminator's
That's
coming.
good conditioning because whenever she's later in life, you can whip that out and always know you can control her.
Emily doesn't like this, but there's also the sound effects toy where the cops, it's the sirens, and I always go like, and I pretend real scared. So now whenever the sirens go by, she's like looking up, and so she's like, "You're
You know,
teaching our
that's
daughter."
probably a good thing to
That is a good thing.
have.
Wow.
Don't you think? Aren't sirens supposed to be like,
Okay, I
I,
thought you,
need to be worried or concerned
I thought
about
you were
something?
implying the police were bad people. Like the second, like.
Why? What? How in any way did you derive that?
I think that's what Emily takes because the sirens going. You're like, oh no, like cops are coming. So.
But it also could be an ambulance.
You know who could use the ambulance?
Who's that?
Forky, because he fell out of that
Oh,
bus.
Yeah.
He did.
Toy Story 4 coming out next month. We got a big June
That's
coming
right.
up.
21st.
Oh, yeah.
The hell? I did
It's
not
coming
know.
out much sooner than I thought.
And-
I
and
thought
I-
it was like an August movie.
I haven't even told Dylan about this, but you know what is also dropping in June on Netflix?
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Boom.
I thought that show was
Nailed it.
dead.
Yeah,
I thought
it
all the
is.
Marvel
It
were
is.
dead.
It's canceled.
It
This
is
is the
dead.
last season, though. They already are filming it. So
That's weird.
just if we didn't even.
It already had a lifeless body in season 2.
Yeah.
So can't
If we
wait.
didn't
Are
even
you
need.
excited?
Yeah.
Are you gonna binge it all?
I
as soon as it
have
comes
to.
out? Okay.
I'm not excited for the
contractually
placement.
obliged.
We have Black
Yeah.
Mirror, we have Dark Phoenix, we have E3,
Yeah.
we have preparing for a potential announcement we're doing in July, and now it's
Wink,
like, oh, you want another 13 episode show? Boom.
I thought
But
that was supposed to be September or something stupid.
it was, but I think Netflix is like, let's get it out
Let's
of
just
here.
get it out of there.
It's
So-
like 3 episodes long, just random clips from the first 2
So
seasons.
depending when that drops, I
Jeez.
think we might take our time at that one. It's kind of like with Iron Fist season 2 because
Mhm.
Spider-Man came out. So depending when it drops,
We'll try our best.
we'll definitely review it. It just, who knows. But what we will review is Toy Story 4 because
That's right.
I'll start. I love the Toy Stories. I think there's an argument made the greatest trilogy of all time. I still
Ooh.
put Lord of the Rings above it, but
It's
I
not
think
a
Toy
trilogy
Story.
anymore. You can't
What?
say it. Greatest
Well,
quadrilogy.
no, get out of there.
Quadrilogy
Get out
of all
of
time.
Does that
there.
trilogy have the best sequel of all time? Is that on the list as well? Top 10?
A trilogy.
What is?
the sequel to the trilogy? Is that what you just
That,
No,
said?
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
like-
a different.
Because wouldn't that be part of like the best trilogy of all time? Is whether or not it has the best sequel of all time?
I
No, because
don't think so.
Terminator's no. No.
It's a factor at play though. You have
It
to keep
is.
in
It
mind.
is.
So you're
But
talking about like the greatest trilogy of all time, but it doesn't have the greatest sequel
Kirkland,
of
I
all
don't
time.
know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I don't think there's.
I'm trying to figure it
I don't
out.
think there's
For
any
both of us.
any trilogy I'd say is the greatest trilogy that had a lackluster one. The other ones, that's why
True.
I know lots of people always go on about Captain America being one of the greatest trilogies, but you got the first Avenger, which is not a bad movie, but I don't think it's like out of this world amazing. So,
Mhm.
but Toy
True.
Story is out of this world
Take
amazing,
that, Cap.
and yeah, we're getting a fourth one, but whatever. I like this trailer. I just still worry. In these past few years, we got Finding Dory, we got Incredibles 2, this new echelon of Pixar and sequels, because I think they'll knock it out of the park, but because all the track record, but these trailers are not selling me as far as it's going to be out of this world great. It looks like it's going to be a fun time with the toys. That's great, but I own all the Toy Story shorts, like the horror nights and stuff like that, and they did all these, like on ABC, they do like 20, 30-minute movies. I hope that this doesn't feel like this could have just been that, because the same thing, like they lose a toy, they got to go find them. So I'm not sure. I want this to be good. I'm just worried because Toy Story 3 is perfect. I'll put my faith in them until we're sitting in the theater and go, because I can't trust reviews because everyone loved Finding Dory and Incredibles 2, and I think people have big blinders on when it comes to those movies. So I will not know till I see it. But right now, I'm enjoying the stuff, but I'm not sold that it's going to be the quality of the first 3.
Well, I gotta ask. So
Do
before Toy Story 3 came
Best
out,
year yet.
did you have those feelings?
No, because Toy
'Cause-
Story 3 was a closing chapter. And I do like what they said. The producer said, we felt that closed Andy's story, and this movie is supposed to close the Toy Story. So I like that, not pun intended, but like Woody, Buzz, all them. So I like that. I hope we get that. It's just a lot of the similar beats of losing a toy. They're in a bit, like a Pizza Planet place, but it's a amusement park now. It's just different. It's the same type of food, just with different salad dressing, So
Okay.
I hope that's not the case, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Got to be careful with your salad dressing.
You really do. You can't overdo it because you can't
Mhm.
take it out.
I overdo it a lot and I love it.
Yeah. Just drink the sauce after.
Oh yeah.
Just
Rub it on my
chug that
body.
What a
ranch.
savage.
Chug
Yeah.
that ranch. Eric Andre
That's what
style.
I do. I just chug it. And my grandma went, "You savage."
Aye. This is a weird one for me. I loved these movies as a kid. I've never seen the third one still, and I haven't watched these movies
Are you
in an
serious?
incredibly long time.
Wow.
God,
You know my Disney
know this.
the
history.
third one is so good.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. So, with how busy June is, I really don't know if I'm gonna have time to watch
Fair
the first
enough.
3 and go see this one, because I don't want to go see this one until I've seen at least the third.
You gotta
Or
watch
one.
Jessica Jones.
But I have to rewatch the first 2 because I haven't seen them in so long that they're pretty distant in my memory. So I don't know if I'll go to this one in the
Yeah.
theater.
I feel like the first one's just ingrained in my memory. Like I've probably seen that movie like 100 times.
Good for
Second
you, but Dylan
one,
was
not too
talking.
much.
I probably did as a child,
God.
but time makes a fool of us all. So it's been a while.
That's true.
The trailer is fantastic. I felt like it had just a ton of scenes from the previous trailer. We've seen one trailer and one teaser. Is that correct,
Yeah.
or is it 2 trailers?
Something like that.
Yeah, or is this
Yeah.
the third one?
Something like that.
It's around there. I feel like there's probably been 2 trailers before this, and there's a lot of clips from those. But, this one threw in the ELO mix-up. ELO,
Yeah.
one of my very favorite bands, as we all know if you're on our Patreon. Check out our top 10 musical
Great episode.
things of all time. And that particular album that song's from, I've listened to probably a ridiculous amount of times. In the last, couple weeks in particular, I'm going to see ELO in June. So that song has been on my mind a lot lately. So I was digging that trailer big time. because of that.
$10. That's when Jessica Jones drops. By the way,
It's
guaranteed.
It's
Guaranteed.
those shows usually they've all dropped on Friday though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the concert's on Wednesday, so it's all good.
This one will drop on Wednesday.
It probably will.
Just
Yeah.
for the fun
And
of it.
I'm gonna go see the concert
For the
instead.
fans,
No,
we're dropping
no,
it
don't
a few
worry.
days early.
See the
Yeah.
concert.
Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say other than that. It was a good trailer. Yeah,
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah, I was one of those people that wasn't a fan of the third one. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't really in the right state of mind. Maybe like when the first time I saw Guardians, I wasn't a fan of it. We've been
Sure.
over this multiple times.
But have you rewatched Guardians?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and do you like it more?
Oh yeah. I fucking
Okay,
love it.
okay.
I have not rewatched Toy Story 3 since the first time I've seen
You
it.
should,
Ooh.
especially being older now.
Yeah. See, well, that was the thing. I think I was just sad, so I was just like,
So you in turn don't like the movie.
I hate how this movie made me feel.
Right, you were young enough that like being sad wasn't. You didn't like it. Didn't add to the cinema experience.
No.
Because
No.
you didn't like
Just-
appreciate
just
it.
made
It was
it
just
sad.
like I'm sad.
I feel it was
Yeah.
like that. Like I go to the movie to be entertained in a good mood, and then I
Right.
left like sad. So I was
Stupid movie.
like, I want a refund.
making me feel things.
But for this trailer,
Incredibles 2 made me sad in another way.
Yeah.
I really like this trailer. I love the ELO in there.
Mm.
I know what that is now thanks to our Patreon episode. Go check it out.
Ayo.
Cheap plug. But yeah, I like seeing all the cast. I like that we see Bo Peep back, and because before it was just like a quick shot at the end, right, when we got to see her, whereas now we get to see her in action. She seems like a superwoman.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see more of her. Jessie, was she in the previous trailers? I feel like she wasn't.
I will say yeah.
She was in
Okay.
the teaser, at least.
Okay, I must have been zoned out then, because I thought this was the first time that like we know that she's in this movie now.
No.
I could be wrong.
Okay,
No, I don't. I think
clearly I was a
Kirkland's-
sleeper.
I thought the
Kirkland's-
teaser had like.
It's my turn to talk.
Kirkland's
now,
paddling
Travis.
upstream here.
Yeah, what happened? What's this?
It's a better workout.
We're just a linear cast now.
We
Fuck
got-
that.
Travis is throwing
I
me
quit.
shade, so I have to throw it back. But I don't know. I'm a fan of this one. It made me laugh. It gave me everything that I liked from the Toy Story. Just fun little humor spots in there. Didn't make me cry.
Humor spots. I like that term.
Humor spots.
This movie had good humor spots.
I like my humor spots. But yeah, I'm really excited for this movie. One of the biggest surprises of this trailer was the release date. I actually thought it was coming out much later. So
Yeah,
I'm
I did
pretty
too. I
happy
thought it was
now.
like August. Or
yeah, that's same with me. I thought it was like a late summer. But I don't know. I'm excited to see it.
Mhm. When's The Lion King come out?
July.
Holy shit! Why are they putting all these movies so close?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so strange.
None are in November.
They just
though.
want to
Yeah,
take.
seriously.
No, I think you might be. I feel like Frozen 2 is in
Oh my
November.
God.
So,
Really?
yeah, I
Do we
think
know a date yet?
Do they have a movie every single month? Like, what is this?
I like that we're talking about November, and I go, I think Frozen 2's in November. And Kirkland goes, do they got a date for that yet? Yeah, I think November.
Did
Let me-
Dumbo come out
You
yet?
could just be feeling it.
Dumbo did come out. Yeah, it bombed.
That was in April.
March.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
that
I don't know why they did. Yeah, yeah.
Since
I don't know
when?
why they did
was
that.
2 months ago.
Oh yeah, I don't know why they did that. Aladdin. I can pass them on Toy Story because it's full on animated, but the live action ones with
Yeah,
Dumbo.
but Aladdin came out yesterday, and
Yeah.
then Toy Story comes out tomorrow, and then Lion King comes out the day after that.
Yeah,
That's
I agree. Well,
ridiculous.
Toy Story does not come out tomorrow. Don't listen to him. It
believe
doesn't have
you
an
for a
It's an
exact.
analogy.
It doesn't have an exact day yet, but it says November 2019 for Frozen 2. So
Okay.
Disney, and then you got Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh
So
my
I think they
gosh.
just want to take over every month. You know, they got Fox.
True.
You know, technically Dark Phoenix is a Disney movie now. Technically,
Is it?
Are you-
they own that movie. It's their movie.
I feel like they
Yeah,
didn't. I
somewhat.
feel like they didn't have anything to do with it though.
What? I've heard otherwise. If
You know you're gonna see that.
because have
Disney
you heard?
stamp,
Have
though.
you heard? This is a little off topic, but we're gonna talk about Disney in a second, so it works. Apparently, the last act of the movie took place in space, but now it takes place on a train.
Well, they did
Like
a
a
lot
space
of
train?
They did a lot of reshoots, not a space train, just a train. So
Okay.
I feel like there's a chance that
What if the train's in
maybe
space?
they are like, hey,
Ghost Trains?
you know, we got a movie
Rick and
that's
Morty
gonna.
style?
Yeah.
Alan Rails? Someone
I
in
haven't-
Ghost
I
Trains?
haven't seen a lot.
I
of
think
that
there
show.
was a chance they went,
Seen
hey,
that
we
episode?
got a movie that's in space happening called Endgame. Maybe you should change things around. So I think they might have more to do with it than we think. So
I'm excited to see this train.
I'm not.
That should be fun.
The
Source
last
code.
X-Men
see a lot
movie is
of
going to
train.
end on a fucking train.
What if they reshoot the whole thing to be on a train?
It wouldn't be the
Great.
last.
That
X-Men
would be
Once
movie.
very
Upon a Time in
experimental.
X-Men-
Imagine an
or-
X-Men movie just completely on a train.
Or what about that? What is that? The Murder on the Orient Express?
No, I don't wanna talk about that movie.
Mutant on the Orient Express.
I'm thinking more source code style.
You know
Great
what
movie.
Dylan wants to talk about?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Is once
Mysterio.
upon
I just had to cut off Travis while he tried to say.
yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The trailer has
Yay.
dropped.
Sure has.
Yeah. Who wants to speak about this?
Dropped it like it's hot.
Man, it's a damn good trailer. I saw Brightburn last night, and they played it there, which was Very nice to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
On the big screen. Was it
On the big
different?
screen.
I hope we get
It
it.
was bigger.
Did you miss
by a
anything? Because it
factor
was
of
too big.
7.
Like you had to turn your head and like, holy shit, someone's in the bottom corner.
I actually was in the bathroom when it started, so I missed roughly the first 20
okay.
seconds.
Wow, that's the first 20
It's the best
seconds are the
part.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good 20 seconds, I'll be honest with you. I'm a massive Tarantino fan. I've seen all of his movies except for Jackie Brown.
Massive.
Hmm.
But he hasn't seen one.
The one that you constantly say is shit and I shouldn't watch.
I never said shit. I say it's his weakest of the
Travis spreads propaganda.
It's
Travis,
not-
you told me not to watch it.
bout. No, I did not say that. It's still a good movie. It's just a weak movie.
Yeah, many of his movies are some of my very favorite movies of all time. Pulp Fiction's definitely in my top 5 at the very least. So, yeah, I'm a massive Tarantino fan. The cast, obviously, we've talked about this like a lot over the last few months, but the cast is just fantastic from start to finish. And to see it in action, I'm super excited. The time period is fantastic. This is like kind of like musically and culture that I'm really interested in that time period, so it just fits perfectly. I cannot wait for this movie. Tarantino is just so unique with his character creation and then development, like in the movie, the way he, like every character has something interesting about them, and the way he just like the right scenes between these characters is unlike any other director. So I didn't need a trailer at all for this movie. I could have gone completely blind and satisfied, but seeing a trailer just confirms it. And I don't know. I feel like this has a chance to become my favorite Tarantino movie. I don't want to get too hyped, but
that's quite
I feel like that's kind of the opportunity. He has that opportunity with any of his movies, but
I'm with you on that one. The only reason that's why I'm buttoning, because I'm the same way as Dylan. That now I'm worrying because I'm starting to get too hyped on it because it's tackling lots of things that I love. I love Hollywood. I'm a big film guy. I love creepy serial killers. So Charles Manson,
Shark
obviously
Boy.
Somebody that's Shark Boy, obviously someone that's come up a lot in that when I talk about and research serial killers. And you got Leo, Margot Robbie, and Brad Pitt, 3 of the greatest actors going right now. So yeah, this one I'm gonna not put the preference that it has to beat Pulp Fiction, but I'm hoping for number 2. If I can get above that, great. But there's just something about this. It just seems magical. It looks great. I love just the turn in this trailer. Everything is about Rick Dalton and his career and everything like that. And then just when they introduce Charlie, and it just that the shift in music and the tone just feels like. And I think you'll have dark moments. I am interested to see how they tackle this because the murder of a pregnant woman is kind of touchy, and Tarantino
he'll do it.
He's literally the master at that. But it is still something you don't want to make a joke, and that's why I think there's a chance that she's not going to get murdered. I think they're going to do the Inglourious Basterds or the Inglourious
Let's try that
Change history.
again.
The Inglourious Basterds route. Yeah, I think same way Hitler died. I feel like Sharon Tate is not going to die because I know Tarantino could do it, but even Tarantino, a woman getting murdered who's pregnant is that'd be to me very tough for even him to pull off, to make that kind of dark and then switch back to being comedy because there's lots of dark stuff in it, but the other stuff or the other thing about it is even if you think about like the Gimp scene in Pulp Fiction, this is a real person that got murdered and she was a big star, so people will gleam onto that and have more feelings and connect to that. So that's why for me, if it's a character, that's still rough to do, but if it's a real person, a real event, that's a lot harder to bounce back from. So I think they're going to change history a bit, but I love this trailer. I cannot wait for this movie.
Ew.
I feel like I have to do some research into that whole like Charles Manson fiasco before I go see this, because I feel like they won't fill me in on things that I won't know.
Yeah, I actually would, because I feel like
Yeah.
he's going to do kind of like an alternate history thing, but he's one of the biggest serial killers who really never killed anybody, which is,
well, because he had like a cult of people
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
did it. Yeah, okay.
Helter
So
Skelter, baby.
I'll have to find a YouTube video or something, break down.
I'll find you a good
just-
documentary.
YouTube.
I trust you.
Yeah,
You're pretty
yeah.
good with those videos.
I was-
The
He
wrestling
actually
isn't
made
wrestling.
one.
great
After
video.
after American Psycho, I deep dive into serial killers,
Yeah.
and you should watch some of his prison videos. He's a weird fucking guy.
Charles
Charles Manson.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, it's just like when he went into prison, he carved a swastika on his head.
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
he pretty much is the way he talks. Feels
We've
like
seen
what?
that before in a Tarantino movie, so
Yeah, exactly. What was I gonna say? He feels almost like what the Joker would be in real life. How chaotic he is in conversations and stuff like that. He's a
He's
he's
long
a-
time dead now,
He's
right?
an enigma. Not a long time. He only died, I think, last year. But he was in
Holy
prison
wow.
for the
Okay.
like
Mhm.
all's majority of his
loose.
life. Yeah, yeah. Batman's hunting him somewhere. Yeah, this movie would knock over well if he was loose. And you're in a Tarantino movie.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
For this trailer, I absolutely loved it. It's I was going into it not wanting to see this trailer, but you know, the curse of the podcast, gotta get all those juicy deets for the fans. But I'm really glad I watched it actually, because it was lots of fun. It was I really just like the tone of it. It, like you guys mentioned, like the switch, like when they introduced Charlie, I guess they call him. He's just like when he smiles at Brad Pitt on the roof, like it's just such a creepy vibe to him. It kind of like chills, like just sends that chill down your spine. But just like visually with the like 1969 like era, and like the cars and
It's all more
like
colorful.
Yeah, like I feel like there's a lot of like yellow and like brown tones in this, so it just
sharp contrast to Hateful Eight, right? Which was such a dark movie.
Yeah, totally.
Happy to be out of that era.
That's a good point. But yeah, I'm a huge Tarantino fan. My dad introduced me to Tarantino when I was pretty young, and
risky move.
Very risky move.
Way to go, Papa Patzer.
Papa Pats. But I don't know.
BMAC, as he's known in Kelowna.
Yeah, that's right. That's an inside joke for another time. Maybe after 9.
After 9,
if you're lucky.
Coming soon, hopefully.
I agree with you guys. I feel like this. I don't want to get my hopes too high, like expecting this to be my number 1 Tarantino movie, but just with the cast and just the like from the trailer we got to see, and just everything about this movie, how it's. Because it's not all about Charles Manson, correct?
I think it's going to be it's going to work similar how Bastards of Fiction work. I think this movie, I don't know if it will have chapters, but will be divided in sections.
Yeah, he usually does that.
Yeah, and I think Brad Pitt is mostly going to interact with them because before, when this movie was in production, people were going around saying, oh, he's making a Charles Manson movie. Yeah. But then he had to come and say, no, he's in the movie. It's a backdrop. So I think it'll be the same. I think it's going to be almost identical the way Hitler is.
You think it'll be linear?
I think there's a chance it might be in this case. If not, I think there'll be jumps, but not huge jumps. I think it'll be more jumping to character, but I don't think it'll be like Pulp Fiction where this is the middle, this is the end.
I don't foresee like a time jump with like Leo's character, for example.
No.
I could see like maybe one for Manson or something.
No, I think if anything, timeline it'll be like Bastards, where it's the same time but just different events going on at that time. Okay. So I think it's going to be kind of a best of a lot of his movies. So
the really exciting thing is like Brad Pitt's character in Inglourious Bastards and Leo's character in Django are like probably the two best, like most interesting characters in those respective movies, even though there's a lot of competition. So to both see them back like in the same movie is just like incredibly exciting.
Yeah, like I almost want like a buddy cop movie with just those two. I know they're getting a little older now, but like man, I wish I could have seen it. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm really excited to see the chemistry between those two as well, because I feel like they're pretty close in this movie. Like he's his stunt double, right? Double, yeah. And seeing Margot on, like I'm so pumped for this movie.
Yeah, she's great. And then Kurt Russell is really interesting as well, because he was in Hateful Eight, but he was also in Death Proof. And tell me, is this like a known rumor that apparently? So Kurt Russell's character in Death Proof is maybe the same guy in this movie?
Mike. I don't think it can be Stuntman Mike because the age. But the thing
wasn't that movie also around that era, like 70s or something?
I think it was I think it might have been, I'll look, but I think it might have been skewing more towards the 80s or whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. But the other reason why I think
he was like a younger guy in that movie still.
Let's see.
Wasn't he?
Time period. No. He was in his 50s.
He's looking regular Kurt Russell.
Yeah, let's see. Death Proof.
Bowser mode. Have you seen that movie, Death Proof?
No. I haven't.
It's really interesting.
Okay.
It's really interesting.
Is that a Tarantino movie?
It is.
Okay. No, I haven't. I've never even heard of it.
It's a super fucking weird movie, but I really, really enjoyed it. Are you joining for the Tarantino retro?
I am. Yes. I wanted to surprise
so you'll
the viewers.
You'll see Death Proof.
But now they know.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I just killed it.
Yeah, I can't find exactly because it might be around the 70s era. So either way, I think there'll be a connection to that.
I could see it. The other reason might just be a little coincidence or something, but at one point in this trailer, Brad Pitt's character, there's like some girl in the car with him, and her feet are just like up on the windshield thing. And that happens in Death Proof a couple of times from one character in particular.
That's just also because Tarantino has a weird foot thing. So,
but it could mean something.
Yeah, I think that it'll be Stuntman Mike, or it'll be his brother, because he talks about how his brother got him in to the
Could be
stunt business.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and this is the reason they never did it, but Tarantino did plan a movie called The Vega Brothers because
Yeah.
John Travolta's character and Michael Madsen's character in Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction
Mhm.
are brothers. They're supposed to be like twin brothers.
Yeah.
So he likes playing around with brothers, and even if you could say, oh, this is his brother that looks almost identical, I think there'll be a connection.
And that's like
It's
like Death Proof is a small enough movie of his, I think. Like, for example,
Yeah.
Kirkland
Yeah.
didn't even know
Never
about it.
even-
it's
I've never
definitely
knew
his
about it.
least talked about
Yeah,
movie.
so you could get away with that, and you wouldn't need to see Death Proof, but it also wouldn't. It would just kind of add it for people who have seen that movie. Yeah.
So I think there's a chance. And Stuntman Mike is great. That's one of Kurt Russell's best performances. So
It's a really fun movie.
yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to see you on the retro.
Ayo.
Stay tuned.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I got no transition. Let's talk about Disney and Disney Plus and Bucky and Winter Soldier and the Falcon and Sam Wilson, all these friends and good guys, because we got some details on their TV show. Their show is going to be dropping next August 2020. They announced that Emily I can't remember her. Oh, Emily Van Camp is her name, and Daniel Brew is coming back as Agent 13 and Baron Zemo, and the show is going to be 6 episodes, and I can't remember the name of the director, but she's really good. She's done tons of stuff.
Carrie something?
Yeah, I
Carrie.
can't remember. I know she's done stuff like The Americans, which is one of the greatest TV shows of all time. I'll find out what she's at, but she has a good track record. So what do we think? We got it's going to be 6 episodes coming next summer. Sharon Carter and Baron Zemo confirmed to be coming back.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I was expecting timeline-wise. I thought it would be out sooner than that for some reason, even though they haven't started filming yet, have they?
No. And
so I don't know why I assumed that.
And I forgot to say the plot will be about Sam Wilson coming to terms being Captain America,
Sure.
which we kind of predicted would be.
It kind of makes sense after
Yeah.
Endgame. Yeah, I'm super excited for this show now. It's been a while since we've really had any sort of development for Bucky in Endgame and Infinity War. He's a very disappointing character.
Yeah.
That's contrasted. I just watched Civil War the other day, and I think that's still my favorite Marvel movie. I love that movie so much. And then he has like a much more important role. Obviously, it's a Captain America movie, so it makes sense. But I'm excited to just get like back into that character. And then obviously Falcon has a whole lot more groundwork to play with now, so that's really exciting. But as I just said, Civil War so good. Both those characters, that's where they were. That's the only like Marvel movie they've been in terms of Zemo and Sharon Carter. So I'm mostly excited for Zemo just because I thought that character was fantastic in that movie. He was such an interesting villain, and I don't know really what they're going to do with him back in the MCU. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, potentially set him up to get back into the Thunderbolts movie, which is kind of rumored. That would make sense, and he'd be a good villain. I think that'd be really fun. I don't know what to think about Sharon Carter though. I feel like I want to see her alongside Cap.
That interests me though, because she's gonna deal with that. Cap left you to go be with your aunt. So that to me is very.
I hope they pose that awkward
And he
question.
they made out too.
Yeah,
so it's weird.
I wish
It's really weird.
I wish
that could be his daughter, couldn't it?
his niece.
It could be his dog.
Yeah,
His
still
niece.
Same difference.
Different timelines.
But Cap, that's pretty fucking risky. my
I do
friend.
wish they didn't kiss and do that romance, because you could have set her up with Falcon maybe or something like that.
Mhm.
I legitimately think that
I mean,
Marcus.
you still could when he hands off a lot when he gives that shield.
No.
So.
I think Marcus and McFeely, when they wrote Winter Soldier and Civil War, I don't think they knew the idea of, hey, we're going to introduce time travel into Endgame.
No.
So I think they went, oh, we'll give him something. Then it's like, yeah, of course he'd rather be with, Peggy. Endgame spoilers, but come on now.
The big peg.
She'll always be the silver medal.
So
Sure.
I'm
I will come back to you.
actually interested to see, because they're all going to be kind of dealing with the loss of Captain America in different ways, right? Like Falcon's going to be about, okay, I got to
Yeah.
live up to his legacy.
Sure.
Bucky's going to be like, oh, I got to work throughout this world, finally, hopefully cleared of his murderous ways without Captain America. And with her, then again, who knows? Because after Civil War, Cat was on the run for 2 years, so it's not like they were in a
true.
full-on relationship anymore, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
She probably doesn't even remember him.
Yeah, nope, not at all.
That tall blonde dude that I kissed, hooked up with at the bar. Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
America's
just
ass.
Captain America. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this this series. Did they say how many episodes it's gonna
6 episodes,
6.
which is
That's
perfect.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, because they were making these mini series because I think they're gonna do quite big budgets for them.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's sweet.
so if you think
I'm-
about that, if an episode was, so you could almost get about like 3 2-hour movies.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm a fan of miniseries, especially throw Marvel in there, that's even more exciting. I'm pretty excited to see what they do with not only Winter Soldier, Winter Soldier, Falcon, and those other two. Sorry, what was the
Sharon Carter, Baron Zemo?
Baron Zemo, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I kind of forgot about them after Civil War. So
well, he's not like he isn't like a world-ending villain.
Yeah.
He doesn't have powers. He's just a dude who wanted to kind of break up the Avengers.
That type of character is so good in like a miniseries that you can do with this, because you don't want to it's not like the quality of like Thanos where you can bring him back. Holy shit, he's back. It's just like
in this show.
Yeah, no, but like in a miniseries, I don't know. I'm excited to see his motives and everything, and
yeah, because I mean, there's a couple questions. One, for both those characters, like I don't think they have been confirmed whether or not they were snapped.
No.
So that will affect, their storylines as well. So that could be. I guess it could serve as a way of just like, oh, they weren't around for this amount of time, so you don't need to worry about what happened to them since then. But yeah, I think it'll be. Yeah, I guess that'll be a really interesting point then, because he was at a point at the end of Civil War where he just wanted to kill himself, but then Black Panther stops him with his impervious glove. So who knows, if he's been stewing in prison or whatever jail they put him in for 5 years, then that would be a much different character than the one who has been absent for those 5 years as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see what they do there. And then Sharon Carter, that'll be a really interesting character.
Yeah.
I wonder if there'll be some romance there, or if she...
With Zemo.
Yeah, with Zemo. I'd be down for that.
I feel like she'll be I feel like she'll be a romance character. I feel bad for her if she's just known as the romance character, just hooking up with all these.
Yeah, that's why I don't think she's actually going to be. Yeah, I think
that's my hard read. I'm going to stand by it.
I think she's going to be kind of still working with S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe a higher up.
Yeah, like
now.
maybe she wasn't snapped, so she's like
she was
snapped
snapped
up the ranks. Oh,
yeah,
how
they
about
show
Zemo?
her in the movie. We don't know. So
you see it in the movie?
Yeah, when Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner at the beginning he's standing in front of all those monitors. She's one of the ones shown. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but Zemo's not. So there's a chance he could have got snapped as well.
Okay.
Well, he was unconfirmed. Yeah. So there's that. Who knows? Or maybe he escaped in those 5 years, right? Because security's down.
Yep.
Maybe there's some guy taking him to the bathroom. That guy gets snapped. Oh, here's my chance. But I walked in when you're talking. It is interesting because this is a guy that wanted to kill himself. So you think he might just want to go and kill himself instead of being in prison, right? But I don't know if there's something that has to do with him and Bucky. I still think there's a chance that Zemo may have ties to whoever the villain could be in the show, and they need to use information with him, and maybe he has a new lease on life. He starts to join, like, there are those rumors of Thunderbolts, of maybe he's a kind of an anti-hero. So I don't know. That character very much excites me. And before, there were just rumors of Thunderbolts. Now that I know he's coming back, it's funny that this show to me was probably ranked quite low when it was first announced, but after Endgame and this news, it's getting up there. Like, I still put... probably I don't know, because we got Loki, Scarlet Witch, and this, and Hawkeye. Like, Hawkeye for me is probably still my number one, just because I'm a big Hawkeye fan. But this is tied right now, that Scarlet Witch Vision show, and I'm sure those shows will get more hype too once we get closer and they start announcing stuff.
I think it is for me definitely after this more information comes out. But even just watching Civil War again, like in that movie, Falcon and Bucky have like a few scenes together. Like there's that part where they're both fighting Spider-Man and they get kind of bopped.
Big frenemies.
Yeah, you kind of see that develop a little bit. So it almost feels like this, with Zemo, with Sharon Carter coming back, that it almost feels like a sequel to Civil War in particular, if you had to pick one particular movie. And that's really exciting for me, as it still holds up as my favorite MCU movie.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for all that stuff. Especially, like, I don't know, just seeing the character development from Falcon and Winter Soldier, because like you mentioned, like since Civil War they've kind of been taking a back seat. Like I'd even say both of them really, like they're kind of just like foot soldiers.
Bucky's like been the ultimate shafted, but Falcon still.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting, like that internal conflict for Falcon, like Travis mentioned, of like he has to hold that expectation of Steve Rogers had. Plus, I don't know, just Winter Soldier going through trying to get clear-minded, be a Buddha. Maybe he's just non-violent.
I wonder if that's where we see the debut of the Falcon cap suit. If he gets a new suit, a new suit, if they debut it there. Because Feige did say these shows will have things to do with the movies. So I wonder if people will be like, oh, well, he didn't get a movie for, to be Captain America. But they'll kind of say, well, he had a series. You got to go watch that on Disney+. So I think there's a chance that show ends with him getting that full-on Captain America garb, Falcon wings, and I'm ready for that suit.
In the comics?
Yeah, it does.
How does he fly with this shield? Is it just like on his back, or does he just hold it?
He flies and he holds the shield in one of his hands.
Okay.
Yep.
Classic.
I buy it.
What do you think the chances are that, Zemo knowing that he can control Bucky's mind. What do you think the chances are that we get that again?
No, I think
Zero. I think it's very
zero.
low.
I think zero.
It's less than 10%.
I think Wakanda's cleaned that all out. I think Shuri scooped that out of his brain.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Scooped it with those big hands.
yeah, they put in their own
Way to go,
words
Shuri.
so they can control them.
I'm gonna go hard 0.
Really? I think if I had to pick one number, I'd go 1.3%.
Wow.
It's likely. It's not
I like
likely,
it.
but it's possible.
1.3.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Anything else?
Nope.
So this is a rumor that just broke today, and you guys have no prepping of what I'm about to lay on you. But this is the Deadpool news. So there's a rumor that right now Disney is weighing their options on how they want to introduce Deadpool or do a Deadpool movie. So the rumor is there's 3 things that they're kicking around right now, and I want to ask you what you think would be the best out of 3.
Headphones on for this.
So option number 1, a new Soul film such as Deadpool 3. So, kind of basic, let's just do that. A Disney Plus
barriers.
limited series. That's option number 2. Or option number 3, guest starring in Spider-Man 3. So apparently those are the 3 options are kicking around. Let's say Feige comes to you and says, I can't
Spider-Man
decide. What
3,
should I
yeah.
do?
Wow.
What we doing?
That's pretty crazy.
Out of the 3,
Yeah, out of those 3.
as a owner of a Deadpool Spider-Man comic book, thanks to Travis, I would be totally down for the Spider-Man introduction. But when I think about all 3 options, I'm totally okay with all of them because I know I'm going to be a Disney Plus owner because I feel like that's a no-brainer. It's going to be like the greatest.
know. I
So-
feel it in my bones.
I don't know. I feel like if they do the standalone movie, I know it's Disney and I know they don't really do me wrong, but I don't know. Like I feel like it'd be different compared to like the first 2 standalone movies. I don't know how it would be different, but that's just my feeling. I feel like it would be different. I feel like I might not like it as much.
Do you see the distinction as like if he's in Spider-Man or if it's just a solo movie? Do you think the solo movie would not have any characters from the MCU? It would just be its own thing. It'd be kind of separated.
I mean, following the pattern, I guess, of like the first 2 movies, I feel like they would have the same Colossus character and I always forget her
Negasonic?
name. Yeah,
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah, thank you. I
And
forgot her name for some
Yukio.
reason. Yeah.
Bayukyo.
I don't know. I feel like they would just bring back those characters. Maybe introduce I feel like they would introduce like a big character though. Like it would just be a write-off character almost. I don't know. No one's really coming to mind. I feel like who's Robin's character from How I Met Your Mother?
Colby Smulders. She's
feel like a
Maria
character-
Hill.
I feel like a character like that might come in.
Oh,
like
really?
But you won't
What?
see like
Why?
you won't see like Hulk in there. I don't
Well,
think.
maybe she's trying to recruit him.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
that'd be
but
easy.
I don't think that would get people hyped. I think people would be
Put Maria
disappointed.
Hill.
Oh, they're in the same universe. This is who we get.
That I'm not saying it has to be her, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
a character along those lines of
Okay.
I don't know. You're not seeing Hulk. You're not seeing Thor in here, but that's my guess.
Yeah, Thor's up in space,
Yeah,
so it's unlikely.
unlikely. Is it more than 1.3% though? I feel like it would be more than 1.3%.
It's about on par, actually. I would say.
But I don't know. Like I feel if they went the route introducing him with Spider-Man, I feel like it's a little unlikely just because Spider-Man's it's kind of more of like for all audiences, and Deadpool is on that R-rated. I know they, or I've heard from Travis that they did the 14A and it kind of worked. I don't know.
It did. Check out my review.
I clearly didn't.
No.
I'm sorry, Travis. But I don't know. I feel like if they have him from Spider-Man, and then obviously you have the characters that Spider-Man's been a part of with his MCU experiences, they
Yeah.
could, I don't know, link the bridge with, I don't know, those characters to Deadpool. So
We could get Mysterio and Deadpool together.
Oh,
that'd be so great. I feel like that's a 1.3%.
That's pretty low.
We'll see. Those are my thoughts.
That's good. I don't. Thinking about the show, like if they did a Disney Plus show, I think that's probably my. I guess would it necessarily be a show, or did they say show or movie, or just like a Disney Plus? Like that's where it would be.
it was quoted as a Disney Plus limited series, so I think it would
So
be
likely
similar
a
to the
show.
Bucky, maybe 6 episodes and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I think off the top of my head, the one I would want the most is the 3rd movie, just to close out the trilogy, and then after that point, just throw them in the MCU or however like whatever quantity that is, just put them in there. If you can only have a scene, that's all Disney wants, whatever. But I think given the trilogy, it could be like a send off for the characters, like main story. for the other characters in his movie. Because if you get him in Spider-Man, then yeah, you're losing your Colossus, your other X-Men, everyone else from that world. You're just not going to see them. It's just not going to happen. So I think a trilogy would be perfect first, and then, I mean, really, the ideal world is that you get the movie, and then he's in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
But if I can only pick one, I'll take his third movie and then put him in the MCU after that. Hopefully that wouldn't be the end of the character, but if it is, then at least with that third movie, you get the chance to really just send him off. I'm not sure what, like maybe the opposite side is if you put him in the Spider-Man movie, that's like his introduction in the MCU, and then he's possibly in the next Avengers movies or whatever. He's in that world now. He's more established. Yeah. But I think I'd want to see a third movie where you have a couple characters in the MCU pop over there and say hello, or maybe he goes to their universe for a second. Obviously, we have different realities. He can teleport. You can make something happen. Nanotech, right? You can make anything possible.
You like it?
How about you, Travis? What's your preference?
So I do not think the Disney Plus series is a good idea. The only reason I think that's being batted around is in case Disney Plus is not doing as well as they hope, which I think is a stupid thing to think. I think it's just that's another thing. Oh, we throw Deadpool on there. I just don't think he fits with the vibe. And for me, it all comes down to what do they want to do more? Do they want to focus on Deadpool, the franchise, or do they want Deadpool in the MCU? And I come down to what do I want more? I love those first Deadpool movies. And I think what Dylan said, the ideal world is to close that and then that end credit scene be how he gets into that. So maybe there's a chance that you close that, there's end credit scene, and then he's going into some MCU movie. But if I had a gun to my head and I could only pick one, I'm picking the Spider-Man one just because of one, I love that trilogy, but I want to really see him and Spider-Man together. They're rivals from the comics, video games, animation, so it's set in there. I think Tom Holland and Ryan Reynolds could just have just a gay old time, like that. Just even the press tour of those two is going to be
That'd
fucking
be quite
phenomenal.
A new father figure to have after
100%.
The fun uncle.
I think obviously now, because I've talked about this was my prediction of how they're going to get him into the MCU with multiple realities, and now with Far From Home, they confirmed. Well, it seems like they've confirmed that there's going to be the multiverse and all this stuff.
Mysterio,
yeah, that's a perfect way to bring him in. They have that excuse, and to me, I think him, if they want him in the MCU, him in a guest starring role works way better than, we're going to make an MCU Deadpool movie. Because if you bring him in, the whole lead up to Deadpool being in Spider-Man 3, people be, I don't think it's going to work. Yeah. He's going to be in a PG movie. He's not going to be funny. They're going to neuter him. And then he's going to come and people are going to love it. He's going to be racy. They still do racy jokes in the MCU. Look at the stuff Peter Quill's talking about, Tony Stark. Excuse me. So I think that whole build-up will be a good way to go, we want Deadpool in the MCU, and he's going to be in Spider-Man, and you're going to love him. And that's what they do with Spider-Man Civil War. Everyone was done with Spider-Man after Amazing Spider-Man 2. Everyone was tired of that character because he had so many bad movies. They did that. They rehabbed the character. Deadpool doesn't need rehabbing, but if they want an MCU, he needs a fresh coat of paint. Yeah. You need to tone down some of those dark edges.
Most
so
definitely,
yeah. So I think, like Dylan said, it's the ideal to do his movie and then the jump over. But if I had to pick what I would want the most, it's definitely in Spider-Man. And I limited series, I just don't. Deadpool 1 and 2 made lots of money. I just don't see that happening. Yeah. That's lots of money they'd leave on the table. So like I said, unless they get desperate and Disney Plus for some reason is not performing, but I don't think that's the case. I think people are excited for these Marvel shows. They're excited for The Mandalorian, and you got the Disney stuff on there. So I don't think they have to. So I guess I just don't know what their mind frame is. And really, if I had to guess, I think they might just do the Spider-Man thing and say, you had your first two movies, that's great, but if you want to be in this world, they're not recasting Deadpool, but it's the same thing when they got Spider-Man. We're not using Garfield. We're rebranding this. And they could be, we're really sorry you didn't get that trilogy closed out, but you still want to be Deadpool? And Ryan Reynolds is going to say, yeah, I do. Okay, well, then we're just going to reboot you. Yeah. Fine, sure. And he can make jokes about it, right? He can talk about past life.
Yeah.
They can do some weird cameo of whatever. So I think
the fourth wall ability of Deadpool just makes it so easy, as we've talked about before. Like they could shoehorn him in any single way, and it would be fine.
It'd be funny too to see like that fourth wall Deadpool in with like any other MCU that we've never had the fourth wall being breached, because then they might just be like, what the hell are you doing, or like whatever, right?
Well, that's why I've always said it.
Camera, like, who are you looking at?
Yeah, that's why I've always said it. They just talk to him like he's crazy. Like, who are you talking to? Like, that's all you do. It's easy. It's a quick fix. My question is, because these rumors are popping up, it's weird. This is coming from a better source, not a top tier source, but a better source. But then this week we've also had these rumors about Wolverine castings of Henry Cavill and
Keanu.
No.
Wasn't that one of the rumors?
No, Charlie Hunnam. They're going.
I had a nightmare last night.
Yeah, they're going young for Wolverine. So it's what I would ask you though is, would they introduce Deadpool before the X-Men?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. I think
It's weird,
X-Men's going to
but-
be... I mean, who knows if they take the process of more like individual characters or a movie with 1 or 2 or 3 of them at
That's
max.
the rumor going around, that the reason these rumors of Wolverine's going around, that he's going to get a solo movie first to
Right.
set that up, which I don't know. I don't like
Yeah.
that idea, actually.
If that's
but
the world, then it is easier for that to happen in a quicker fashion. But I just feel like X-Men's going to take so long to get off the ground because there's so many people to cast
Yeah.
just to get your like kind of basic
Oh, yeah.
characters and world down. But yeah, I mean, who knows if they take it that other way and just do one at a time, then who knows? They could do it a lot faster. But I think Deadpool, I mean, he's already established and he's already known to be making money. Whereas, I mean, these X-Men movies do well for the most part, right? But they're kind of inconsistent, right?
Dark Phoenix is supposedly going to lose to Secret Life of Pets opening weekend,
Mhm.
so it's
And
definitely
Apocalypse
in the slumps.
was kind of a letdown too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
came below
Yeah.
expectations.
Logan did well though.
Yeah. Logan and Deadpool, but they also smaller budgets, right? That's the smart thing with Logan.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Logan's just a road trip movie with some
Right.
CG here and
Yeah,
there,
so
right?
actually maybe that's a way they look at it, right? If you don't have to cast like 100 people for one X-Men movie, you just have to focus on 1 or 2 main
Yeah.
characters, and that could be
Mhm.
easier. But I mean, they just have so much groundwork to like, obviously going back like as Falcon and Bucky show is like they're just gonna pull 2 characters from a movie that was like 5 or 6 movies ago,
Yeah.
and just like, let's go expand those characters, and they can do that with X-Men where they can just pull some random character from who knows where and
do
just
a
like
series.
yeah, just start off from there. That's how you can introduce them. You don't have to introduce them alongside Black Panther or Spider-Man. You can pick a smaller character because they just have so many characters at this point.
And before Kirkland goes, I have to ask, because you weren't too thrilled about that those Henry Cavill rumors going around, Dylan.
I wouldn't say that I'm upset about it. And I think Henry Cavill,
That's his cousin.
Cavill,
Yeah.
whatever the hell his name is. I thought he was
Superman.
I thought he was Superman. I thought he was pretty good in Justice League, considering how bad that movie was. So I'm not against him. I just don't like those DC movies. But I think he'd be fine. I guess. It's just not. I don't know. My initial reaction was distaste when you posted
it's
that
not
in the
screaming
chat.
perfection.
It didn't connect with me instantly. Whereas the other guy that I can't remember,
Charlie Hunnam.
yeah, I thought he fits a lot better right off the bat. Just how it hits my ear.
Yeah.
That's
Is Charlie Hunnam the guy from?
Sons of Anarchy.
Is
King
that-
Arthur.
That's not the same
Pacific
guy
Rim.
from Logan, right?
Is
No,
it?
no, no.
I always get those
no, he
two
looks
actors.
like a
I always
Lost
get those
Boy
two
in
actors.
Holbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those two, and the Henry Cavill thing really sold me, but they're still not my top picks. They're not. I'm not screaming
Yeah.
perfection.
I just want
so.
them to wait for Wolverine.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't
yeah.
think.
Thank you,
Yeah, if
fine.
those rumors and these are from lower tier sources. If the rumor was true that they're starting with Wolverine or doing a solo movie, that to me is a big mistake. I think you do X-Men first and you bring him in. Wolverine's always going to be popular. You don't need to start with Wolverine,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
Or do like one
Foggy's
of the,
been waiting to
yeah.
get him. Probably,
It's true.
Just
Yeah,
I
licking
want
his
that.
Yeah,
lips.
maybe.
You want those claws. You want that costume. Like that's the thing. It's kind of that tough thing when people always go like. When people get the Batman series and Joker gets guys like, oh, they're doing the Joker. But I feel like every director who wants to do a Batman movie, they're like, yeah, but I want to do the fucking Joker. So it's one of those. I feel like Foggy might be the same. Like, yeah, but I want to do Wolverine.
It's true.
Like,
Maybe they take the idea. Maybe they plan to do Wolverine at some point. Obviously, they will.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you do X-23 or you do one of those other like female Wolverine characters that I don't know the name of. Take it like the Olivia Octavia style and do something different with the character.
I would
like,
love
just for
Laura,
now,
yeah.
and then bring Wolverine at some point, and then he
Yeah.
could be tied to that character in some way. He could have been there the whole time, but off, being
Yeah.
grumpy in a bar,
Trying to find his memory.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could still get like a lot of the appeal of that character using a similar character,
Yeah.
and I think that could be kind of fun. It could be something different as well.
I just
Yeah.
can't wait to see that gold and blue suit live. I hope they do that. And if we get
Well,
to see that
yeah.
live
I'd be
action, so good.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm definitely one of those people that's just it's too soon for me to see Wolverine. Like I want to see just different X-Men because, like you already mentioned, like everybody knows who Wolverine is, so it's not like you have to introduce him, right? Like you could just bring him.
Mhm.
Like I want them to bring him in. I don't know how they would do this, but just like totally old classic suit where you don't even see his face really. It's just like that mask. Like I guess you would only really see his mouth.
Yeah.
Because that's the only part that's showing, right?
I've always
Just like a
wanted
big cigar. Yeah.
I've always wanted some big Hollywood movie to do that. Of say, hey, we've cast Wolverine, but you're not gonna know who it is till
That'd be so great.
I can't remember what movie. Oh, there was some rumor they were gonna do that, and they never did. But it was something like a recasting. Oh, that's what it was when Spider-Man, because everyone was. It was based off Civil War, and in Civil War, the comic books, he reveals his identity as Peter Parker, and everyone thought, wouldn't that be a cool way if they cast Spider-Man, and that's how you reveal who the actor is, and mid-movie take the mask off.
That'd be wild.
Clearly, they didn't go with that Civil War storyline, but I'm waiting for a franchise to do that where they secretly cast someone we don't know who it is, and Feige, he can do it, you know. It's just,
can do a lot.
but
Anyone
it's just
can do
Hugh
it.
Jackman again,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god.
But
or
yeah,
just Deadpool wearing that Hugh Jackman mask.
Yeah.
that'd be great. It's just Hugh Jackman. He takes off his mask and it's Ryan Reynolds.
You thought you were so lucky.
What were we even
We
talking
were talking about Wolverine, we were talking about Deadpool coming forward, we were talking about Henry Cavill or Charlie Hunnam. Lots of
Yeah.
stuff we were spewing there.
Old people.
Yeah.
I'm definitely both you guys' camp. Like when I heard those rumors, it didn't scream perfection in my ear because perfection is just Hugh Jackman, and we had Logan.
That's true.
What was that? 2016. So that's 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it's way too soon.
2017.
for them to-
2017.
yeah, I think it's way too
Golden
soon.
Geek Best Film winner right there.
That's right.
Deservingly so.
So for me, I guess I can see it, but at the same time, I don't need it. It's not perfection to me. So
Yeah.
I'm totally in that camp that I want them to give some time. At the same time, though, I do want Kevin Feige with that blue and yellow suit. I
I'll
don't know.
pull it off, right?
Yeah,
Has to.
yeah. So I do really want that, but I don't need Wolverine right now.
Transition away from some Marvel stuff, but talk about some Star Wars
We'll
stuff
be
in the
back there.
Disney
Some
family.
multiple lines.
Oh yeah. We'll be for video games. We're coming back.
Right.
We can't go too far without talking about Disney.
Speaking of X-Men, but so this week they released some photos of Episode 9, some details. Vanity Fair, they always do a big spread and whatnot. They revealed some characters. They revealed Kerry Russell. I'm not sure if you guys saw. She was this bounty hunter. I'm trying to pull up a picture for her right now, or a potential bounty hunter. They just revealed a lot of characters. The reason I'm shouting her out just because Kerry Russell from The American, she's one of my favorite actresses, but I quite like the look of this character, and they just say she's a scoundrel that might be cut somewhere in the middle and whatnot. No, you can't.
Looks
So,
cool.
but some of the details were they talked about to Adam Driver as far as him and Ray and what's going on. He's talking about how they formed a maybe bond, and that it's going to dive deeper into that. Apparently, they have a deeper Force connection that's been let on, and that's all we know. So, as far as I have some other topics there, but because I haven't talked to you guys, me and Taylor have talked to death about Canteen and everything. What do you guys think what's going on with Kylo and Ray? And Kylo is clearly going to become good again. So I just want to see how you guys felt about that, because I just feel like they are just laying the groundwork for this as like the yellow brick road. We're heading that direction.
I've been wanting Evil Ray for a while, and
That's out of the question.
That's a 1.3%.
I want it so bad. Give me the 1.3. Adam Driver's character. I don't know. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna bring Snoke back? I really, really don't want that. That's my big thing against this whole him going good. Is who do you put in his place? Who do you put?
The Emperor, because he's come back, right?
Oh yeah, fuck the Emperor. I don't like him either. So
Dylan doesn't like cloaked, like sitting in chairs figures.
Anyway, honestly, I think for me to make a really astute judgment, I'd have to have rewatched Last Jedi, because I've only seen that movie once, and obviously that was a while ago at this point.
We will be, because we got to finish our tradition of commentary tracks. We have that and some solo movie.
Well, of course, I'm going to watch the first two before going into the third one at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what. I guess I totally forgot about the Emperor. You definitely reminded me there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not against that, because I think I'm gonna have to watch like a compilation video on YouTube of like all his scenes, because he's pretty foggy in my mind. I just remember him being a victim of the prequels and being really cheesy and annoying.
Victim of the prequels.
So maybe that's not the case, but I think it is.
I think they do. I think they legitimately do a lot of story and character development around him. It's just in bad writing, and I think sometimes he does some good acting, but other times there's some cheesy acting. So he's a good actor. I think it's just a lot of people came off bad in those movies because George is not great at working with directors. Like, what am I looking at, George? You're just looking at something. Just act. And okay, George, just act. Thanks.
I just want to. Here's the thing: Force Awakens. I don't know how much I don't know if it's the same people who made that trailer, but that trailer when it first came out was so good, and I'm just hoping for the same thing for this one. I know we already got that one trailer, but it was pretty unremarkable to me. So I kind of hope we get that, because obviously Force Awakens was different because there was so many unknown,
Yeah.
so many unknown variables. Yeah. But JJ's back in the director's chair, and that's exciting for me. But that honestly, at this point, is the only thing that's really exciting for me.
Well,
like the trailer hasn't really done it. A lot of news of like who's in it, not really exciting for me. Like even where the story is going based on this Vanity Fair stuff, not really that exciting to me. So I don't know. I'm not super excited for it right now, but I know it can only take one. I know one trailer can turn me around on that.
Just before Curtin goes, I wanted to say the statement that JJ said in the Vanity Fair thing. He said, working on 9, I found myself approaching it slightly different, which is to say on 7, I was beholden to Star Wars in the way that was interesting. I was doing what my best ability to make it feel like Star Wars should be. But this time something changed. Abrams found himself making different choices for camera angles, lighting, the story. It felt simply more renegade. It felt slightly more like, fuck it. I'm going to do the things that feels right because it does, not just because it adheres to something. So to me, that just, him saying fuck it sounds exciting. I've always said that. I feel like he's just been so tired of people saying, oh, Force Awakens is just like New Hope. I feel like...
Possibly, but I think there's a big can of worms there because he made the first movie. Some other guy made the second movie and made a bunch of weird-ass choices. So I feel like he almost has to, right? Because what, is he going to try and just like button off what he was doing with Force Awakens? Obviously, that story he was trying to do got taken in a pretty different direction.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting quote, but I don't know if it means a whole lot to me.
Oh, see, I take it as just I feel like he is going to not let it be that, oh, this feels like Return of the Jedi. I feel like he's going to, I think that's a good thing. And because Last Jedi didn't feel like Episode 5, but it had a lot of weird choices where I don't think JJ made weird choices in Episode 7. So if he can do what he did in Episode 7 and not make it feel like Star Wars karaoke, I feel we got something good on our hands. And even the trailer, maybe if you didn't find it unremarkable, there's some gorgeous shots in it. Like just Rey taking on that TIE fighter alone, just coming at her, just...
but there was also gorgeous shots in Solo, right?
I'll disagree. I nothing stands out for me in Solo.
In hindsight, nothing does. But there was some fantastic shots at the time. Like that was like the only pro we brought up for the movie. It was like, oh yeah, there's some like Disney money. Like they have some great Star Wars shots.
I guess, but Last Jedi, that, and even Rogue One has stuck with me. Solo hasn't. Maybe it's because I just ignore that movie all the time.
You just write it off.
We should write that movie off. But Kirkland, what do you think about over there about good old Ben Solo? And the other thing, Vanity Fair, they put out that on set in the trailer that he was fighting the Knights of Ren, who have been officially confirmed to be in this movie.
So
but
that's
then
cool.
they
like
redacted that.
Oh,
so it sounds like maybe they made
I was excited for something else. Then.
No, I think they made a little mistake.
Slip up.
Yeah, because they're on set and like
autocorrect.
I think they're like, hey, don't talk about that. So it might have just been a mistake, but they had first put that in the article that he was fighting Knights of Ren, and then they took that out. So
it was an autocorrect. It was supposed to be Knights of Rey.
So what are you thinking? What do you want with Kylo Ren over there, Kirkland?
I mean, going back to the JJ quote, if this was like, if he didn't say that, and this was just like Star Wars karaoke, just total rehash of how the original trilogy ended, it would have just been pretty, I don't know, let down if he does go good, because it's just like, well, this is the exact same thing, kind of what we got from Return of the Jedi, right, with Darth Vader switching. But with him saying that, I feel like it could just go in any other way, and I do like that quote, because now I'm not going into this like with the bat. I don't know, because there's always those variables of like, oh, since he said that, it's not going to be like I don't know, Kylo Ren's not going to go good, but it could always happen. I could just be let down. But I would be totally happy with him going good, just because, I don't know, I feel like the way The Last Jedi ended, I just felt so sure that he was just going to stay bad like for the rest of the movie. I remember even thinking that after Episode 7, because after Episode 7, when he kills Han, it's just like, oh man, he's fully gone. But then again, there's also that like director change.
Oh, that I thought that too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the maybe Bond. I love that quote too, because it's like they have a stronger connection than what was led on by Rian Johnson, just not mentioned.
Yeah, no love for Rian Johnson in that quote.
No,
except for maybe the fuck it, which possibly has.
No,
his
there
name
was.
quoted.
They changed it from fuck you.
Hang on, there was a quote that JJ did say something about Rian Johnson. I can't find it, but he did say something about like once I saw what he did, which is you might say, oh, that's not a great sign, but I think just like because he did take some more chances with it, so I think that's what he means in that realm of possibilities.
And I feel like JJ, like he took the positives of what Rian Johnson did because he didn't feel confined to just doing the same thing that we've already seen in Star Wars. It's like I want to make this my own movie, and I don't know. I feel like I have a little bit more trust in JJ to do it. I don't want to shit on Rian Johnson.
Execute it.
Well,
better.
it's a hard job for Rian Johnson too to go just be stuck in there and make the second movie and lead it into the third one perfectly.
Huge expectations.
Like it's massively
one of the most
difficult.
Vicious fan bases out there.
Oh yeah, made George Lucas sell his entire company.
Yeah. So yeah, going back to Ben, as we're
Benjamin.
Are you
Ben
calling him Ben
Kenobi.
because that's his good name?
I call him Ben, yeah, because he's definitely gonna be good. Yeah.
Is that just a Travis told you so, or
I think it's
It's
just
in the Vanity Fair article.
I've been like you every time at the end of the movie. Oh, he's definitely bad. But then in between, it's like, I don't know. And when you watch Last Jedi, there is just so many drops of he's this evil guy. But then even Luke just says like, oh, no one's ever really gone. Even Luke's there to kill him. So I just think with the Emperor back, he's going to be good. My only hope is it's just not Vader where it's the last act. All of a sudden I'm good. I'm hoping, and I don't want to Travis told you so this, but I'm thinking the turn might maybe happen midway through the film. And I think that'd be interesting to get an hour and a half of good guy Kylo Ren instead of last 15 minutes. I'm good and I'll help you on. Oh, I die. You know, I don't want that. But if there's a turning point in the movie, or what I've always said too, is if it's just, hey, him and Rey decide the Emperor's too dangerous, let's team up. And as they're teaming together, he's starting to see like, oh, maybe I should do this. And the other thing I'll throw at you before you continue too is that there's this photo they released of Luke Skywalker, and everyone's wondering because it's not a Force ghost in the way, even though you could edit that away. So people are trying to say, oh, that's a flashback to when Ben destroyed all these Jedis and whatnot, but he didn't have the beard and everything like that.
No.
So I wonder if Luke Skywalker as a Force ghost is helping Rey, but he's also, which I really, really want, just popping up to like F with Kylo Ren. Like, if Kylo Ren's on a mission and he just looks over and Luke is just there, just staring at him, that's going to mess with your mind. Who Kylo is already a mess. So I don't know if they'll do that, but if they do that, I think that's a really good choice because that could help his turn to the dark or the light side. So I just don't want it the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you. I didn't have that thought till you went, so I'm glad you said that because my biggest fear for him going good was just the rehash of the Vader thing.
Yeah.
It's just like
sacrifice self for Rey.
So it's like I never even got to see what good Vader would be like. I'm not going to talk about prequels because he wasn't that character at that point, right?
Annie.
but yeah. So I definitely if they go the route of him turning good, I would want to see it midway to even like earlier because if they just do it like right at the end, Rey knows that she can't beat the Emperor, so she just gets Kylo. Even if it's not like the rehash of the Vader, that's just like kind of what happened in Last Jedi.
Yeah,
right?
they got to be really careful.
Yeah, because he killed Snoke, and then at the end, oh no, I'm not good. I'm still bad.
Let's fight.
Yeah, so.
You're nothing. You're no one.
I don't know. I really don't have like a solid opinion on what I think is going to happen, but it's just my thoughts on whether they go the good route. I would want to see it like the way that you said.
Just something different. Just not Vader.
Yeah.
And I hope that quote means he's not going to do that because I swear if the movie ends and Palpatine is like kicking Rey's ass and all of a sudden he just goes, I'm Ben, and then he's like I just don't. I want him to say I'm Ben Solo, but like I don't want it in that context. So
it'll be mixed because like Adam Driver will just kill the line. It'll be delivered so well.
Yeah,
but you just gotta hate the line.
And that's the faith I do put in that. I feel like even in that last 15 minutes, Adam Driver, an actor, could sell me because he's phenomenal.
Fantastic.
So
it would be better than the crusty old Vader that we got in Return.
No, yeah.
Adam Driver should be in a Tarantino movie.
He really should be. I think we should do that after 9. It's the same way we do a draft. Not even a draft, just a who would we want. Because that's somebody I've always wanted Christian Bale in a Tarantino movie. There's a list of so many actors, especially that's why I get he wants to retire, but just don't retire yet,
going,
you know.
man.
But I get why he's doing it. So, yeah, that's episode 9. I'm excited. JJ, I hope he kills. I just love that one picture where he's in the desert and he just has his shirt wrapped around his head. And he's in this cargo shorts. Like he's called him Beefcake. He's just making Star Wars, you know. And like Force Awakens was challenging, but it's like You have the Last Jedi backlash. You're closing the saga of the Skywalkers. They also talked a lot. I'm not going to get into the details of how he had to deal with Carrie Fisher's death and working that in. So it's like it's not just making a Star Wars movie or a sequel. It's just like all those things, just like Force Awakens again, where it's like
easy.
You got to do this, you got to do this. So he just loves these pressure situations. And until I see Episode 9, I'm disappointed. Trust in JJ, I will. So
Yeah, I'm in your camp too.
you know who I trust in?
Who's that?
Christopher Nolan, because Christopher Nolan is making a
Mr.
new
Nolan.
movie coming out next year. It's called Tenet. It is being described as a big-time epic action espionage international film.
That's probably my favorite genre.
And then the cast for the first time since he scored Batman Begins, he skipped Prestige, but then after that, Hans Zimmer scored everything. That's not happening. I think his name he pronounced as Ludwig Gleason or Gelson, I don't know, but he's scoring The Mandalorian. He scored Black Panther, won an Oscar for that.
Yeah, he's done work with. He produced Redbone, that Childish Gambino
He's
song.
very hip. He's a very hip guy. He's the big hot thing on Hollywood, so he's taking over for Hans Zimmer right now.
That's cool.
And they announced
choice.
some other people. They announced Aaron Taylor Johnson, Kenneth Branagh, but then cast that was already in this was John David Washington from BlacKkKlansman, Robert Pattinson, potentially the new Batman, Elizabeth Debicki, Michael Caine. So a lot of young actors. What do we think about this? And I don't subscribe to this. Apparently there's just some theories going on. People are trying to say it's in the same universe as Interception, Interstellar. I don't think Nolan's that type of guy. It would be fun, but people just thought, because I think there's some reason, I can't remember. I heard something where someone said the Tenet word had the same font or something as Inception, something like that. But I'm not going to say Nolan.
Times New Roman.
Yeah, I don't think Nolan's doing that. And it's also because it's an action adventure, spy espionage
Epic.
sort of film.
He threw epic in.
Yeah. Well, everything he does that. So what do you guys think about this? This is coming out next year.
I don't have too much to say on the cast because while I've heard a lot of those names, other than Michael Caine, I can't put a face to their name instantly. So I don't know.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, is that one of them you said? You said it really fast. So.
Robert Pattinson, John David Washington from BlacKkKlansman.
Is that the main? Is he the main actor?
Yeah. He's the lead in this movie.
That's really cool.
Aaron Taylor Johnson,
really
who played
liked
Quicksilver.
What's that?
Aaron Taylor Johnson played Quicksilver, and
I need pop-ups with faces. I when you said Quicksilver, I know who it is for the first time.
You're talking very fast right now. I don't know if you just sped up because you're going to a movie later tonight, but
no, we're still doing good on time. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Which Quicksilver?
The
good one?
Age of Ultron. So not the greatest one,
shit.
but he is a good actor.
Okay, I don't know. I don't have much to say on him. And then what was that third person you just said?
Kenneth
The good
Kenneth Branagh, or the third person was Robert Pattinson. John Davis
reaction.
Washington,
Yeah,
BlacKkKlansman. Kenneth Branagh, he was in Dunkirk. He is in Murdering the Orient Express. He played the detective with the big mustache.
Okay,
He's a director as well. So Elizabeth Debicki, you've seen her in other things. She was in Guardian. She's the full-on gold lady.
Okay. So there you go.
God, why am I?
So a bunch of people that I've seen kind of around,
I'm forgetting.
but no
her
one
name.
who's really starred in a movie other than the actor of BlacKkKlansman, which I really liked. A very different style of movie than this will be, it sounds like. But that's an interesting cast. I can't say I ever would have fan casted any of them next to each other, but I think it's pretty fun. Michael Caine is obviously a classic.
Been in every Nolan movie except Memento.
Really?
Yeah.
Every single one, hey?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for him. Yeah, that's a good partnership. I like that. I love Christopher Nolan's movies. I honestly I have to say there's a few that I haven't seen, so I got to go check. I haven't seen Interstellar. I haven't seen.
Her name is Ayesha. That's what her name is. I forgot it. Ayesha.
I know.
What movie's one of your favorites?
Interstellar.
I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen.
I don't know about that.
It's my favorite.
I haven't seen the
favorite.
entirety of Prestige, so I got to see that one as well.
Oh my god! That's his greatest movie.
I know everyone
Next to
says
Dark
that
Knight.
about
Next
every one
to
of his
Interstellar.
movies. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Big
But everything
Interstellar
else from him, other than Dark Knight Rises, are fantastic movies. So,
how many times have you seen Dark Knight Rises?
Once.
Okay,
exactly.
Maybe
I've
one
only
and a
seen it
half
once.
times.
I've only seen it once.
Have you seen Memento?
Memento, yeah, I have.
Okay, good.
I have not.
That was actually, I think, the first Nolan movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, we're probably next year we're gonna have lesson on retros just because we've been very busy this season. I think we kind of overbooked ourselves, but I think Nolan's one that we're gonna. Well, our goal is maybe to do two, and I think we're gonna decide on one, and then maybe let the fans decide on one or other two. And I think Nolan's definitely one that I'm in for. Nolan, I'm trying to.
Or we could just make a poll that has Christopher Nolan on it, and we all know that he would win.
I don't know. Well, it depends what we put on there because Taylor's gonna for sure put Nicolas Cage, and he could get a lot of votes.
Oh God!
I also
I'm
thought
down for that,
I heard of not an idea, but someone was talking about they were going through the top 10 box office movies in 1992. That might be one of my picks. Is picking a year and just the top 10 movies of that year, and that'd be
fun.
So
that'd be fun.
Yeah. look out. But Nolan, I definitely want to do because he's
Yeah.
just like he has a style for sure, but a wide range of
Mhm.
movies. So
Yeah, like I guess like the layout and the structure of his movies are very different. But what I find really interesting is how he uses time. Obviously, Memento, just like the storytelling is really interesting.
oh yeah,
Same sort of thing in Dunkirk. It's less like on the nose about it, but it's really interesting the way that's done.
wasn't
And then-
needed.
And then Inception is like all about time distortion
yeah,
as like a big plot point of it. And I think Interstellar's like that too, right? Where it has kind of time.
in a
Yeah.
different way though.
In a
It's
different
not.
way.
It doesn't.
That's the thing is like he does that, but it's in different ways in every movie. So and it's funny like Dunkirk, the way it was used, it wasn't something I was expecting, and even throughout the movie, like kind of had me a little confused. I don't know. It was very interesting, is all I can say about it, I guess. So I'm curious if that'll make its way into this movie as well. I'm sure it will. It's obviously something he likes to do, and I think he does it in tasteful and different ways.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm very excited for this movie. It is
Yeah.
now in my highly anticipated section, probably in the top 5, honestly, just because he's just up there. He earns that spot.
He's definitely one of my favorite.
He hasn't let me
directors.
down
Yeah.
since Dark Knight Rises. So
Were you let down by that, or were you just like, it was okay?
Dylan was very hyperbolic when he was
at the
giving stuff
time-
number. He
at
was like,
the-
"It's like a 3 out of 10."
no,
I'm
I
like,
said 4.
"Come
Like,
on
three.
now, come
at
on."
the time, I did give things numbers. I was like, wow, this is at least a 4 out of 10. At most a 4 out of 10.
Nuh-uh.
At
So-
least.
Great.
I'll watch it
movie.
again, and maybe I'll change my views. I'm open to changing my views.
I think you got to get ready because I think this is going to be very similar to Dark Knight Rises, and that one scene in Inception when Tom Hardy's on the snow bikes and shooting everybody. Because there's also another moment in Dark Knight where
It's actually called a snowmobile, I think.
cool. He uses a sky hook in Dark Knight, and it's just to get a guy Lau out of there. And it's very spy. And to me, this is 100%. There was rumors last year of him directing Bond. I feel like he went in there and he pitched what he would do with Bond, and like. We don't like that. It's kind of weird. And
Like,
I'm
we like linear stories.
I feel
on that.
well, exactly, and I feel like okay, I don't need to do Bond, and I feel like he could still do it one day. But this is, that's why I don't know. Maybe there is Inception, there is some sci-fi stuff. There always is something different with Nolan. But I think this is gonna be, if he never makes a Bond film, this is his Bond movie because it's just weird that we had rumors about him doing Bond, and now he's doing an international espionage like spy film. Like, gee, so. That gets me very excited because I always want to see what Nolan could do with Bond, and this cast is great. So I cannot wait. Nolan is my favorite director just because it's always back and forth with him, Tarantino, Martin Scorsese. But when I just make those lists of my favorite movies, I just have more Nolan ones. I
Yeah.
love the entire Dark Knight trilogy. Dark Knight's my favorite movie of all time. Prestige is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so underrated. It's just
Interstellar as well.
It's just phenomenal. Interstellar is definitely his weakest movie. And Inception's probably my favorite sci-fi movie. So it's just like a bunch of favorite of my genres. He's just always getting in there. So can't wait. And even Dunkirk. I was so bored with war movies, and I really loved that movie. It's not my favorite Nolan movie, but still, he finds a way. So
It's true.
No, yeah, for sure. Just when I think of Nolan, I think of his films, and I could probably put most of those like on my favorite movies list.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
They're so good. I love his style. I never really noticed like the time thing until you mentioned it, but
You
like when
should
you
w-
think about it, it totally makes sense.
Go
there.
legitimately. I'll send you the link. Honest Trailers did this thing. It's called Every Christopher Nolan Movies, and they do find that's why you should watch it too. His structure of the movie is actually very similar. There's like always a dead wife. Like they hit on all these things. Like his movies are actually very, very similar. It's just the story and the plot that's different,
Yeah.
but the way he paces them and with time, he has his like his style and
Yeah.
his and he
He's got
sticks
his
to
recipe.
it.
It works.
Oh yeah.
It
Oh,
works
it's
for me.
definitely working. Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so especially just hearing that super long genre, whatever the hell you call it, big
It's
big,
big
ultra.
action epic, because technically he's never done a action movie, and I would say that's his weakest stuff in The Dark Knight is the action.
Yeah.
Other than he's not gonna like it, but the Bane Dark Knight fight, because that was his JJ moment of like, fuck all you, I can do action, and he
Yeah.
did it. But Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, there's just a lot of like Batman like quickly taking people out, because I don't think that's what Nolan finds interesting in his movies. He found the character, not
Yeah.
Batman beating people with his hands. So.
Yeah.
Ayo.
Even the final fight in Dark Knight is Joker with a bunch of dogs and Batman, and then that's it. And it ends up with Joker getting a crowbar on Batman's neck. It's like, pretty anticlimactic. It works because that's the world, but he's not the greatest at the action. So maybe this is his plan to
It'll
like.
be interesting to see how he does it on this one. Yeah, I like most of that, or all the cast members that I know on that list at least. I think you mentioned this. It'll be I don't know, maybe just back of my mind, Robert Pattinson and Nolan giving him some Batman tips.
It is very
Yeah,
strange for him to do that, and then the
And Michael
rumors.
Caine as well. Like, I've been your Alfred before.
You want to play Alfred again? Yeah. They just reenacting Dark Knight scenes, and no one's like, "Stop it! Like, this is not Batman. I'm done with comic book movies."
Yeah. I don't know.
Tom Hardy's there. It's, oh yes,
I mean,
Batman.
now that there's like weird time jumps in the MCU, I could see Nolan coming back. Yeah.
He can't wait to make an alternate
Mysterio
timeline.
movie.
No, I think he's completely done with anything IP.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
so, too.
you know.
Yeah.
He's too good for that.
So yeah,
Don't say that.
Anything with Nolan, I'm super excited, and I don't know. I'm excited to see that first trailer. I want to see the tone of what this movie's like. If it's more of what's Mr.
You know, the
Chuckles
first
over?
trailer will give us nothing. It's always loud noises with Nolan's and just shots of stuff.
and I'll be like, I need it.
remember the first trailer of Dunkirk was just those guys on the boats and someone over,
Oh,
and then remember
yeah.
that extra that
Yeah,
guy who was
That
laughing.
little wormy guy.
But and same thing with Inception. The very first trailer was just buildings falling and just. Durr.
yeah, but Hans Zimmer's gone, so he can't
I
use
know.
that patented noise anymore.
I
He'll replace
love
it
the
with-
new guy though.
Oh,
That's
no.
what he needs to
Or
direct
just
right
the
there.
Nilo song. On repeat.
Wow.
Yeah, there's not very many red flags for me for this movie. So a lot of green. I'm
Good
excited for it.
A lot of green. A lot of green flags.
And sorry, have they mentioned like, is it started? Are they starting it?
I think filming will probably be around this end of this year. If they're announcing all this cast, whatnot, they're getting close. They're doing
Okay.
pre-production, so they're getting close to production. And I think next year it's kind of like a summer 2020 movie. Nolan is one of the only people, like Dunkirk is a movie you shouldn't put out in the summer because the type of audience, but it made tons of money. So
Yeah.
he's like, I think it's him and Tarantino. That's pretty much it for directors that could sell. Like, it gets us excited, but to put like their name and gets people excited, I think it's just those two, because
Yeah.
I think Spielberg doesn't even have that anymore, and I don't think Scorsese has that anymore. Those two are this is the big event movie you got to go see,
Yeah.
you know, and you know,
It's true.
Nolan did that with Batman, because Tarantino is that, but Tarantino movies don't make anywhere near what like Dunkirk and Nolan movies. Nolan is
It's
a
a
cash,
different-
yeah, it's a different like
It's a
event,
different animal,
you know.
yeah.
So,
He's
anything
legend.
else on Tenet?
Tenet.
I forgot what
I like
the
the
name
title.
was. I forgot what the title was. Tenet.
Tenet.
Yeah, let me see. I think I closed the
Is
window.
that like a-
Tenant, isn't it?
Hmm?
Tenant? Isn't it Tenant?
Tenant.
Is that how you spell tenant?
Well, that's
It's
what I'm wondering.
Tenet.
Tenet. Oh, okay. I was wrong. What did I say? I said tenant.
I'm gonna look up the dictionary
the
definition.
Ants. Man.
A principle or belief, especially one of the main principles of religion or philosophy. Right.
Oh, a tenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought. Okay. Is tenant like
Tenet.
the tenant of this house? Would that be spelled
Nope.
differently?
Sometimes
that is-
confused
that's-
with a tenant.
Yeah.
And that's the way I spelled it, right?
Yeah. I don't
Yes.
know. I wasn't listening.
Tenant.
I was right.
Tenant.
Best year yet.
I was right about that
let's
as well.
See. Yeah, I think that's. I guess I mentioned this quickly because I forgot about Sony announced that they have a studio that they're going to be
Yes.
tackling their TV and or they're going to do their games and adapting that into TV and movies.
Mhm.
I think that's a good idea. Hopefully, it ends up like Marvel Studios. I hope they just don't get too picky, because that's been sometimes with game adaptions where the studios get too involved. But I would like that. I just hope that it ends up like the MCU and we see lots of stuff building. If there's a division of, that's why lots of development hell happens where a studio goes, I don't care about Uncharted anymore. Let's move on to something else. If it's Sony trying to build a studio, they won't forget about Uncharted
Yeah.
or Last of Us. So
I think Uncharted is the first one.
I
They do.
don't know if it's tied up with because right now there's the guy that does Stranger Things is supposed to be doing it. That's been in development hell for years. Oh right, they're doing it's a prequel to the game, and Tom Holland is playing Nathan Drake, which I think is still like a strange choice.
Yeah.
But so that might be tied up with
Right.
another studio. So if it is, I think Last of Us is that's the shoehorn to go, or get a live action Crash.
Ew, I'd be down for that.
Yeah. When I heard this, I was actually really excited because I feel like Sony, out of all the other like gaming, whatever you call them, gaming companies, I feel like they just have like some of the best like original IPs and stuff. So to see those, whether it's a boom or bust, I don't know. I'd love to see them on the big
God
screen.
of War is another one that's a big
Yeah.
starter for them.
Yeah. Well, they have a lot of like character like driven stories or
Mhm.
character heavy stories. Obviously Nintendo is like just like the most amount of raw like identifiable IPs and
Nice,
stuff. But Sony's just makes the most sense because
Yeah.
of the storytelling. Like Uncharted is pretty much just an action movie, right? Like so much of that movie, or pretty much the entirety of that game. Fuck, I can't talk right now. Pretty much the entirety of that game is just like on rails, right? Like you're just going. Like there's the illusion that you actually have like some player choice, but really it's that is essentially a movie that you get to play through. And Last of Us is kind of the same thing, obviously, same studio and whatnot.
Give me that live action Horizon.
That would be wild.
Yeah,
and that would be very heavy. I think you'd need like at least a trilogy to make that happen.
Oh, I want it. I can't wait for that sequel, that game. I'm so pumped.
Yeah,
Another thing about Sony though is that they have so many different like audiences for their games. Like they have stuff like Spyro where it's like more like for kids and just all audiences, and then stuff like God of War. I don't know. I'd want that to be more like just brutal, because that's what that character really is, right? So I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of positives that can come out of this. Obviously, there's that curse that kind of surrounds video game movies and TV shows like that, but
still not broken.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Sony might have a good take on that.
Yeah, I think that it's just they're just set up for success with like a lot of at least Uncharted and Last of Us, and maybe even like the new God of War if that was translated into a movie, maybe that could work.
That's the one I was kind of thinking of when I mentioned God of War.
It's a long game, but like it could work story wise.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff you can cut out and cut down. Yeah, I think that one they would go for, because Kratos in the other games is not much of a character. He's just I'm Kratos.
It's a button masher.
That's my Kratos.
You should be Kratos.
I'm getting ready for Kratos. Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna meet him for the movie.
Kratos.
Can't wait.
Shave your head.
You know what? Do you guys got any other movie TV news?
Nope.
I wish I could do that noise that you just made.
What noise?
The bird.
You know what I can't wait for is, we're jumping in the game news now, but if you're a Marvel fan, you're going to want to stick around. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the gift that keeps on giving.
How
So they dropped a trailer a few days ago of the X-Men being attacked at the X-Mansion by the Brotherhood of Mutants. Check out our X-Men retrospective, because we talk about a lot of them, but we got Juggernaut on there, Magneto.
And check out our Marvel Ultimate Alliance fan cast that we did apparently a week and a half too early.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a part 2 preview after Nintendo Direct.
There's already been 6 character announcements since then.
Yeah. And I guess we didn't even talk about 2 because there's been Ant-Man and Vision are rumored, but we got lots of evidence.
Yeah, there's a leak.
And Elektra.
There's a big Amazon leak that's pretty confirmed at this point.
It's just great. I'm loving all this stuff. Magneto, I'm very happy about. Psylocke, that's fine. I never was a big fan of her in the game. We didn't talk about Ant-Man and Vision on there, but you can go back to the cast we did, because we talked a lot about them wanting them. I'm excited that. But Magneto I didn't think was an option, just because I just wasn't sure what we were doing with X-Men here. So I'm excited. I would like to know about Juggernaut and Mystique's kind of their position, but I don't think they'll be playable, especially also when I watch that trailer again. Juggernaut's like pretty big in that trailer.
He's massive in the second game as well.
But I don't think he's this massive. He was just huge. So I don't think he'll be playable. And my prediction is still, I don't think Beast is going to be playable either. I think he's going to be an NPC like Lockjaw, because he's in the screen with all the characters, but Lockjaw was, right? And for the longest time, we thought Lockjaw was playable, and then they came out no. So I think he could be your guide to, in both the first and the second game, you're always at a station, and there's always one character like, hi, how can I help? I think that's going to be Beast. So, yeah, I'm just excited, though. It's great.
That totally could be the case. I'm gonna predict that Beast is in there. I just get that vibe based off of the trailer. But there's a couple interesting things in this trailer. At the start of it, there's like when the X-Mansion's getting destroyed, there's like a zoom in on like a photograph that has pretty much all the characters that kind of got announced in this trailer. But also it does also have Beast, Professor Xavier, Colossus, and Cyclops. So it has some characters that aren't confirmed, a couple characters that we haven't seen yet. So yeah. I'm curious if they'll make it in there. Professor X has never been playable, and the other ones,
that'd be so fun.
He would be.
I don't think he'll be in there.
It could be really fun, and I think they could get really creative with that moveset. I mean, Colossus and Cyclops have been in there before, so they could make it in. But I almost feel like if they were going to get announced like before the game comes out, this would have been the time to do it with the X-Men trailer. So it's possible. I think there's a good chance that they leave a couple characters unannounced, and then you just kind of discover them when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
And maybe they could be one or both of those guys could be like that slot, possibly. I'm not sure.
So what's your prediction on them being playable overall, whether it's DLC, unannounced?
DLC I could see as a high likelihood. I don't think I would predict no, they're not in the game at launch.
Okay.
At least for those two. I think Beast will be in there. So the other thing that's interesting in this trailer is we see there actually is a very quick shot of Vision, in the
I
game.
haven't seen this yet, but you
Yeah,
told me
it's like
about it.
it's like a very quick. Like they probably didn't intend for it to be in there, but someone just missed it. But it's the same style of vision that was used in that Amazon leak, where it's like kind of like a green kind of flavored one. So that to me like almost confirms that Amazon leak, which contained the announcement of Ant-Man, Vision, and Elektra to be real. I already felt it was pretty legitimate anyway, but like just seeing Vision with that exact same costume, which isn't the MCU costume, like distinctly isn't, like pretty much confirms those three for me as well. So yeah, the fact that we've had like essentially 6 character announcements is pretty crazy.
No shit, yeah. Short amount of time too.
Yeah.
I think Juggernaut is playable.
Really? I want him to be
Yeah.
so bad. I love him. I just don't think it's gonna be, but I want it. I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's unique. It's been done before. I think they need like a couple more villains.
Where's my girl
rounded out.
Jean Grey at? One of my favorite players in
she's
the
not-
second
she's
game.
nowhere to
I
be
know.
found,
She's not even in the
sure.
portrait. So strange.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Juggernaut's not playable. Just from the size that I saw, it was a
He's
little,
massive.
It was,
He's big.
it was a little too intimidating.
He's big.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a story purpose that he gets 10% knocked off him. Maybe
He's
like
just- he's
Thanos
just smaller.
snaps and he just like shrinks.
he loses 50% of
Or
his
with
weight.
Ant-Man, he's like, "Get me down a little bit, guy," and they give him a little bit
Yeah,
of the pin
sure.
particles. You know?
Yeah, give him some pin particles. Yeah.
This is gonna might be controversial. I'm gonna say Beast, Cyclops, and Colossus are all in the game
Oh,
as playable.
Wow.
That's
Hot
just
fire.
I don't know. I feel like especially since Colossus and Cyclops have both been like in the game before, I
Mhm.
feel like it's pretty easy, even if they don't change their movesets too much, like just to throw them in the game.
Mhm.
Beast. The only reason I can see him being in there is because I just feel like the type of character he is, it would be pretty easy of a playstyle to adapt, just like a kind of a
A
bruiser.
heavy brawler.
Yeah,
He'd
exactly.
be close to, I think, Sabretooth.
That's what
in
I was
Ultimate
thinking.
Alliance
Yeah.
1.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
yeah.
the hack and slash,
Yeah.
and he literally has like nail tags.
I'd love
Yeah.
to see that too.
Be a
My
little
favorite
bit more
color is
tanky.
blue, so he'd just be a blue saber too.
You'd be great. I love
Yeah.
Beast. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd love to see that. And then the other two, just because we saw them in the trailer, and I do agree with you. I feel like they give you like that big roster of everyone that we know would be in it, but then once you plug in the game,
Mhm.
you kind of discover these new ones. I
Get
feel
those
like
Infinity Trials going.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't wait.
I feel like that would just be a great way to do it, and it's definitely just like a hopeful pick. But if they're in there, that's a Kirkland.
I think the
told us, so.
only reason why they could be in there is just because it is a little weird that every character on that portrait so far is playable, other than those 4, right? So
And I can't remember, is Mystique in that photo?
no.
No, she's not, because she's with Magneto, right?
Yeah, which I don't think she's playable, but I think you could have made her playable and be very similar to Black Widow, just with the she has gun stuff like that.
There's quite a
but-
few of those like assassin type characters though
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
So
There is.
The one thing with Mystique though is I feel like the main thing about Mystique isn't just her assassin ability. It's like she can change into anyone, and I feel like you couldn't really like have a mechanic with
That'd
that.
be interesting to do, but
I
yeah,
don't
it'd be
know.
I think too much work for them to do. Of
Yeah.
like you got to turn it.
it
Everybody.
could be like a Kirby sort
I
of
was
thing
gonna
where
say,
you get like
yeah.
an ability from another character. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's too intensive on the system. I don't know.
If she's in there, I would be totally surprised, and
Mhm.
I'd be down for it because
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like they should have every Marvel character in this game.
When I say no one, like I don't think
Why
that
not?
person's in there. It's not because like I don't care. Put every character.
Yeah,
in there.
exactly. Put them
The,
all
the
in.
only one I still need to be sold on is Crystal, because if
Yeah.
you took some time to develop her, and I'm not a big fan of her, then blah, that could have been Jean Grey.
So that's
but
all. Another thing is there's a video from Game Informer who's been posting stuff.
Mhm.
They showed like the Venom boss fight, and
with
there was,
Electro too.
With Electro,
Yeah.
he was in the cutscene, but he wasn't in the fight. So
Yeah.
I guess he was throwing electricity on the ground. I don't know. You couldn't see him.
Classic
far as I
Max
know.
Dillon throwing electricity.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little. I don't know what's going on with that fight, but that was actually the first time we saw gameplay of Crystal, and there was something really interesting about to me. Is like one of her moves is like a classic fireball, so she can throw like just one fireball, or she can throw kind of like a combo of 3, or she can charge it and throw like a really big one. So
It's
that-
very Smash-like.
yeah, I think it's
Like Star Fox's gun, how you could, choose.
yeah, I guess so.
Or
But
Samus's gun arm.
I hear you. I hear you. I guess it's interesting to me because it's like if all 3 of those abilities are just one move that you can use in different ways, and that's really exciting for me. I'm already kind of fine. We talked about a lot on the prediction, the fan cast of there's not going to be extra abilities. Sucks that there's only 4 like abilities that each character gets, but with like how big the roster is, like I don't really care anymore.
I'm fine.
And to see that like from at least Crystal with that one ability that one ability might mean that you can use like use it in quite a few different ways. That's pretty exciting as well.
And since we did our last cast, alternate costumes have been confirmed.
Yes,
They said they don't
that's
know how
awesome.
many. It was in a game format video, but they just said there is alternate costumes. So that is a big plus for me.
Yeah, especially like since they said they don't know how many. It kind of goes along with what we were assuming. How like some characters that are brand new might not have like 7, whereas like the original Iron Man might. So
Yeah,
I'm just so happy.
You heard it
they
here
confirmed
first,
that.
7.
I feel like every character's gonna have one. That's my prediction.
Every character. Ooh.
Every character will have one.
I think it's going to be a random where some characters could have 3, some could have 2, some could have 0.
7.
Just because I just don't, because I worry if they do every character one, like Spider-Gwen's alternate costume, it's just going to be her without the mask. Like I don't want it to get to that point, but I'm down if every. What would you rather have? Though?
That's not what I want. I'm just saying that's what I think is gonna happen.
But what would you rather have, the random, or would you rather have every character have one?
I think I'd like for every character to have at least one. Yeah.
Okay.
Because even if you have like a really jank costume, like for example, Songbird
I love
in
that term.
Ultimate Alliance 2, who has like this really funny like biker wrestler costume, which is just so comically bad that makes it good.
I say they got to step up because at Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, Ultimate Cost for the most part, they suck. They were good for comedic relief, but most of them sucked.
To be fair, I mean, you make a good point there, right? If they just give every character a costume just to give them a costume, and then some of them are bad, then that would kind of suck. But I don't know. I feel like every character should get a little bit of love, even if they're cursed and I don't know who they are.
A little love.
I definitely see your point, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. I want like just random amounts because I don't know, Miles Morales. It'd be cool to see like him like with the hoodie or something like that type of just alternate costume.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, like that'd be so
spray paint suit.
That'd be so sick. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm happy with
that,
like he's so new of a character that like just his regular costume is like new to me, and I just
costumes are such an easy thing to add later as well.
Yeah.
And even if you have to pay for it, like whatever. But I think there is some characters that definitely should have priority.
Yeah,
if
it's DLC, I'll give my $5 to those.
Oh, $5, yeah.
You have to pay with a new currency. A couple other things. I guess from the trailer, I'm really happy that Psylocke's in there. It's a weird pick. I did not expect her to be in there at all, but she looks great. She was actually pretty fun in 2, and that's like not my kind of character at all. So I'm excited for her.
What does she play like? Is she arranged?
No, she just like uses her blades, like very assassin type character, but like it's very kind of combo heavy. Like seems like a lot of her stuff leads into the other moves, and she's like quite a bit movement based actually.
Yeah,
like just kind of dashing around, like charging.
That's like Psylocke from Apocalypse, right?
And it's the same character.
Because I obviously that movie is something else, but like I don't know, I just like the look of that character, like her purple blades. Like I just think it's sick.
Oh, you like the look, don't you?
Yeah. Well, it's Olivia Munn. So
how can you not?
I thought you were gonna say something else.
I just wanted to say like I'm excited to try out because I didn't play the second game, so I'm excited to see these characters that are coming back from that game, so I can have my shot at them.
Maybe we'll try that because we do have to test a certain stream possibly.
Yes.
So maybe we'll do that. So
Dormammu's also in this trailer.
Yeah, he's a villain. Yeah.
So
that's the fireball.
That's the first time we've seen him,
so.
and this is the first time we see some Doctor Strange gameplay. So. It's very brief. He's just using like one move.
No boxes.
No boxes.
We don't know. We don't know. Unconfirmed.
Yeah, it was a very quick shot, but I'm happy to see him. I like the look he has. And then we also, this is the X-Men trailer, but it's the first time we actually saw some Nightcrawler gameplay. He looks like fun.
Yeah, so. I'm excited. He's a fun character. I still thought they've made a lot of random picks, but I like that. It's it reminds me some of the first game.
It does definitely feel random and before knowing like some of the other characters that are in there, but even then like Psylocke and Magneto as like the additional X-Men. It's still like kind of.
I don't think Magneto's weird. I think he's just because he's such a popular Marvel villain.
Yeah, but he's more of like a villain instead of just like a classic X-Men.
Yeah.
Like part of the team.
Yeah, technically he is the leader of the X-Men right now in comics. So
there you go.
I feel like when I think of X-Men though, like my mind doesn't just go to Psylocke, so it is kind of a random pick. But at the same time, I do like seeing some variety, not just like the same guys we've seen in every single.
And I'm glad that we have more than just the 4, because before, like obviously there's like the team abilities you get if you pair, if you have the Avengers, if you have the X-Men, but we only had the 4 Avengers, plus if they put Scarlet Witch like in that combination of characters as well. So now that there's just a few more to round it out, that's always fun. Yeah, the more ways you can get those team bonuses, the better. So
all about the team bonuses.
Yeah, I gotta love that. I got nothing else to add. I'm just pumped for this game, and I cannot wait to play this game.
What's that release date again?
July 19th. We may have a special. E3 is when we might have a special announcement. So just stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Let's see. Do I have anything else from that trailer? Not so much. Yeah, that was pretty much everything. I think it's. I mean, not just the trailer, but also Elektra being in there is is cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Another assassin type character. We
I
have a
think
lot of those. But
I think she takes Jessica Jones' slot though for that completing the Defenders.
yeah, now we can have that Defenders team bonus.
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, I mean, you can have it with 2 characters, but it's you want to have the full team if you can. So
Yeah.
mhm.
I have nothing else to add.
God, this game's gonna be amazing.
gonna
There
be
are
amazing.
36 characters right now.
That's
Jesus.
We're gonna
fat.
hit that 40 spot.
That's
We're
thick
good.
rock.
It's gonna hit 40 at this point because you gotta have Thanos, and I don't know.
They're
maybe a
getting my
couple
Foggy
others.
bucks.
Give me. The
I will not believe Thanos till I see it. I'm just worried, but I want Thanos in there.
They're not gonna reveal it, but it's gonna happen. You can't reveal that you get to play as the final boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I think if you want to sell copies,
Yeah.
you know.
Maybe there's like a fake ending where you beat Thanos, or like
Oh,
Thanos gets a snap. You think
beat-
it's the end of the game, but then it
And then you
enters.
fight Feige. He comes out with the
That's not what
gauntlet.
I was gonna say, but yeah, I do have this very vivid image in my mind of Feige with like the Super Mario cappy. That he
Oh
just, like,
yeah, I want him to be a
tosses around as
playable.
weapon,
He needs
so-
to be a playable character so bad.
yeah.
Seriously,
you
he
know.
really does. I'd be
Mm.
stoked.
Just
with
throwing Feige bucks.
that. Mhm.
That's his range.
Make it rain.
Make it rain.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in this newscast. If you like what we did, please go subscribe to the audio and video feeds all down below. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, the whole shebang.
Spotify.
If you really like Spotify, but if you really like us, head over to Patreon and get all our casts for, early, the special ones for $1, half of them, $5 for all of them, and just give us some support. You know, there's probably a $5 that's been in your shoe. I don't know why it's in your shoe, but it's been in there for months. You're going to use it for something, use it on us and get some good, nice, juicy content.
Nice,
A lot
juicy.
of fun. And
Such
as you
as the
see,
Hobbit retro, which we're going to record.
we're going to record the third one
Finally been
finally
over that
this weekend.
stuff.
Yeah, and then we'll move Lord of the Rings later in the winter. So,
yeah, we're going to take a little hiatus.
yeah, but as you can see, you guys make a difference, whether subscribing, supporting us, the gear, the soundboard, everything like that. So thank you
The
very
threads.
much for tuning in. Oh yeah, that we pay for all our clothing.
Mhm.
So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back very soon with Brightburn, a bunch of
A
stuff.
couple days from now.
Yeah, and it will not be boring.
See you later.
Peace. That's fun.